Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank y'all so much for stopping by another live stream. I really appreciate it. Welcome to the fourth quarter, Claudel Woods. Really appreciate your support. Shout out to the NTZ crew. That's Jacob Tanjay. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. All the rest of my fourth quarter members. That's Jeffrey Tad. I know you having a good time up there. Where are you right now? Angelique City? Where are you? What's up, Roger? I was looking at our picture today, man, when we were on the world famous boulevard in Dumaguete. What's going on, Kamal? Any of my old heads? Oh, okay. Felicitations to all. Doubtful Genius. What's up, man? I think you're here. You're still here. What's up, Q? He says, what's up, Unc? I just got back from Subic Bay. Although that $800 hotel we booked had big luxury rooms, the hotel itself was small. The photos online was a bit misleading. Would you consider that a scam? Well, they do that a lot over here. You know it's illegal in America, that false advertising. But welcome any new viewers and subscribers. And anybody catching this on replay, the peso is 58.83. You know, still a fantastic rate. Don't complain about that. I was telling the guy the other day, I've seen it as low as 41. But Jeff Richard said, Q, that's just marketing, man. Same thing happens in Japan. Those photos are tricky. More about the memories made rather than the amenities. Yeah, I remember a long time ago in America, there was a lawsuit that started the end of all that false advertising. It was a Burger King or Wendy's commercial, and they showed the burger. And it's like, well, that's not what the burger looks like when you buy it in the restaurant. And they stopped all that foolishness, man. What's up? What's up, Angelo? Good to see you, man. I know you happy. Your woman will be arriving in a few days. I know you happy, man. You want to beat her up instead of beating yourself up. He said, I've been an old head since 2020, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. I know you've been singing karaoke since you've been back. This guy really is a great karaoke singer. He shook up the meet and greet. I was shocked. He sung one of them rap songs, man. But he's a good karaoke singer. Matter of fact, he made I had some CDs of his. Merlin had picked up by mistake when we stayed at his house in DeVal. I sent them back to him. He said, I wonder how Cisco made out. I'm pretty sure he made out pretty good. I got another friend coming here from Houston, Texas. He should be here by now. What's up, Paragraphics? He said, yeah, Chill Will said Red Bull got sued because they don't give you wings. Yeah, they quit all that foolishness, man. You can't do that in America, but over here you can. I'm going to leave a week from Monday. I'm excited, man. I really am. It's all I've been watching is videos, about Vietnam. Just to get an idea on what to try when I get over there. But, we always have a topic. Today's topic is everything that they're saying is true. And what we're saying is there's so many videos out there talking about vloggers are lying. And they're not telling you the whole story. So I want to talk about a few things that they say we lie about. And then with your experiences out there, man, we're going to determine, are we lying or is it the truth? Because most of us, we have our own unique experience over here, but a lot of the things I'm going to talk about, these are common experiences that everybody experiences when they get over here. But I know y'all sick of hearing about this Epstein files. I am, man. Nobody's going to jail. You know, this information that they're putting out here, it's not new. The authorities have known about this stuff for years, and nothing was done. They're playing in our face, man. I don't like it. There's one set of rules for the rich and powerful, then there's another set for us. If you would have done anything that these people are accused of, you wouldn't see the light of day. Less than that. But it's nothing new coming out. You know, and then they're talking about the Trump shit his pants. You know, I don't want to hear all this stuff, man. If he did, you know, hell, he's 80 years old. Everybody knows he's not the healthiest president in history. Come on, man. We've had presidents going there in their 50s. What's up, Jews? But it's usually these videos, it's usually these new vloggers. That's one of their first few videos they make, talking about, yeah, here's what they're lying about, you know. And then they're sugarcoating everything. You know, it's funny. He said most vloggers are not lying. They just don't put disclaimers in their videos because everyone's experience will be different. It is. I just said that. I hate a guy who got scammed thinking he can replicate Sunshine Shoulders. But a lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about, Q, is common to all of us. But I do want to say this before we get started. They canceled school for the rest of the week here because there's a typhoon in the PAR, the Philippines area of responsibility. And it's windy out here, man. And I'm pretty sure it's going to affect the ferries because I was supposed to go to Cebu, to meet a guy that I consider a friend, but hell, you can't mess with them ferries, man. You get caught over there. You know, I can't fly to Cebu from here. So I got to take that ferry. And me and Merlin had gotten stuck over there before for about a week. Yeah, Trump pooped his diaper, you know. What do you expect out of an 80-year-old man? He said some people lie to gain popularity so they can advance their agenda or career. But I haven't seen a whole lot of that. You know, I wish people would be more specific. That's why we're going to talk about some stuff today that, you know, they claim we lying about or whatever. And the first thing I got on the list, this is my list. I want y'all to add stuff too. Hey, Thomas, I'm glad you're on here, man. The friend I'm talking about, supposed to went to Cebu. His wife is from Argyle. He's a real good guy. I believe they live in Canada. And I'm thinking they're coming your way. And I told him, I said, man, you got to hook up with Thomas Marshall. If you could, do you got my email, Thomas? Maybe you could send me your contact information to give to him because he's a real good guy. And that's what I told him. Oh, wow. He said, I was looking at the Philippines Inquiry. They busted a romance scam. 30 Filipinos and 9 expats were involved. Here in the Philippines, what was going on? Yeah, I saw that. I made a community post about that. He said 42 people died on the ferry last week. Yeah, you really have to be real careful when you get on these ferries, man. And certainly that one. Because every time I would go to Zamboanga City to visit my son, I would see that ferry. Some of those ferries, man, are just in bad shape. You couldn't pay me to get on them. And you know, the Philippines has the worst maritime record in the history since they've been covering that stuff. I mean, rest in peace to the victims, man. I send our sincerest condolences to the families, man. But sometimes, and that one, that one that goes from, they were going to Tawi Tawi, Honolulu, whichever one. It's not that many that go. I think because it takes a long time to get there. I think it's only like one, and it leaves at night. And that's the one. I've been in the terminal before where I'm coming to Dumagetti, and you see these people there, they'll call that trip, and they'll get on the bus going there. And you look out there and you see that thing, and you're like, man, I'm sorry, but yeah. Hey, Coveted Boy Speaks, thanks for that super chat. He said, what's up, Uncle Cal? He said, I've been having the itis all day. What's that? No. See, here's the thing. He said, how you going to inspect a ferry if you don't know shit about boats? That's sad news. No, the Coast Guard inspects all those ferries that come in and out of the port. Yeah, they got the Coast Guard. Before you leave, they check the manifest, what you got on there, because just like with any other public transportation like that, the passengers are really the least of the cargo. They're taking all kind of stuff on these airplanes and on these ships. You're just a side piece, to be honest with you. He said the typhoon is at Bantayan Island. Yeah, I know something's going on. When they shut the schools down, Roger, and then even last night, man, the wind was blowing so strong. But like I told you, if you want to come to the Philippines and you don't like hot weather, this is the time to come. Late December to about mid-February, you're going to have perfect weather, really. Okay, Thomas, thank you. But the first thing I got on here, because I put this first because I saw it in the comments. One of my comments, the guy says that we lie about the girlfriend experience. And I'm like, well, I don't think so. And he says, it's not as easy to meet women as we make it out to be. And I'm like, well, if I ask 10 guys, did they have the girlfriend experience? Probably 9 of them are going to say, yeah. And all the girlfriend experience is when she meets you at the airport. Filipinos have this talent that they put you at ease. They make it seem as if you've been knowing each other for years. Okay, and even by the time you get in the taxi, and it's Honey now. Your name is no longer Calvin, it's Honey, and it's the strangest thing, and you meet eyes, and it's like, okay, I'm going to play along with this too. But that's what the girlfriend experience is. And from that time until the time you leave, however long, 2 weeks, 2 years, the rest of your life, you're like husband and wife. He said he didn't get it. Well, I'm sorry, but that's one of the things to look forward to. I think it's really, okay, eating too much food. Yeah. I think it's one of the things to look forward to. One of the unique things about coming to the Philippines. But we're not lying about that. I mean, this is what Filipinos could tell you about, but they're never going to tell you this. They could tell you this because this is, they know more about what's going on up here and everything, because Filipinos don't meet strangers, and I really admire that. You get in the taxi with your girlfriend, she's going to start talking to that taxi driver like they've been knowing each other for years, and she does you the same way. But no, we're not lying about that girlfriend experience. That's real, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, he says a small-scale anti-U.S. protest expected near the U.S. Embassy. Yeah, don't worry about that stuff. A lot of them protesters are being paid. Okay? A lot of them are being paid over here. I wouldn't worry about that. Hey, Big Love, he said, hey, people, I'm coming from Richie Rich's live. Yeah, I saw his live. You know, I've been doing my lives for years, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. But yeah, there ain't nothing to be worried about, man. Those people are being paid. Did you make it here, Cisco? I'm pretty sure you did. He said, I was shocked while in Subic Bay. They replaced all the tricycles with taxis. The Philippines we once know is slowly coming to an end. Yeah, as much as things change over here, they stay the same. They're not going to get rid of those jeepneys, which people have been saying for the longest, because those jeepneys is what makes traffic so bad in a lot of places here. He says it's easy to meet women online. I've chatted with over 50 on Panay Love. Yeah, we're not lying about that. He says it's easy to meet women in the Philippines. Now, to meet a good one is a different story. It's not really. This is what saves most of us, is that the women that we meet are good. They don't have it in them to cheat us. They've got their, expectations, and they got their motives. We're going to talk about that. But the majority, overwhelming majority of them you meet, if you take your time, are good. I'm talking about women that I've met personally. I've never met a bad one. I've never met a bad one. He says, do you think it's the girlfriend experience genuine or part of the, it's part of the script? You don't know that woman. You don't know at all. But it makes it fun, man. It makes it interesting. And it kind of, it breaks the ice and it puts you at ease. It's like, okay, I know what's going on now, because you don't know what to expect when you come over here. You don't know. Certainly, if that spark is there that they're looking for, it depends on how long you've been chatting with her. If you've been chatting with her long enough to know her, she's going to act that way like she knows you. It just makes the experience better. He said, man, if you can't meet a woman in the Philippines, you just aren't trying. You have to make the first move, but just follow the smiles. Go out to where the women work and socialize. Yeah, and see, this is what gets a lot of men confused, because they think Filipinos like them. Filipinos are just very approachable. They're very, they're easy to meet, but that don't mean she wants you, because they're smiling all the time, waving and being friendly. But we think, we pick that up as a signal that she likes us. He said, the VO is 21 degrees Fahrenheit and the river is freezing over. Hope I can retire early and join you. Man, just have a plan and work the plan. I knew that I was going to retire at 55. I got a cousin that worked for Procter & Gamble in Lexington, Kentucky. She worked at the factory that made Jiffy peanut butter. I don't even know if Procter & Gamble still owns it. But when she retired at 50, I was shocked. She looked so young. She looked so good. I was like, that's what I want to do. I don't want to work till I'm 70, even though I can then get all my full Social Security and all that. Fuck that, man. I'm sorry, not me. I wanted to follow in her footsteps. I was able to do it at 55. He said, be careful, Unc, telling people you never met a bad woman. No, I don't care. He said, many people will take that run on dating sites and get scammed thinking our Filipinos are the same. I'm saying the ones I've met in person, Q. Slow down now. I didn't say online. I said the ones I've met in person. I've never met a bad one. Usually when they decide to meet you, a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, man, but you got to work your act. You got to be the man in the situation. You got to have your antennas up. A lot of guys come over here, man, their pants is on fire. And it clouds They're thinking. Look what lust does to us. And you'll see a lot of men come over here, man, they're lustful. And they miss all the red flags and everything like that. He says, I'm hearing the name tourism is rising. If you're not a digital nomad with a remote job, you're limited to tourism and food industry jobs. Thoughts? Well, I mean, I don't know about working over in Vietnam or anything like that. I have no idea. I do know that they've got a 90-day visa. You know, I think that's the most you can stay. You can't get a retirement visa in Vietnam. And every 90 days you gotta make a border run. You probably want to get that multi-entry. I just got the single entry, which this time around, it's not going to bother me. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff I wouldn't worry about. You know, most of these places, you want to be a digital nomad. Unless you retired. A lot of the guys who are over here, sole provider speaks, they're retired. Yeah, I saw this video a long time ago when it first came out. He said, did you see the video of the Filipino spending 1 million pesos gambling online? What would you do if your woman spent that much money in a month? Well, she wasn't even gambling online. There's a game over here, and Merlin is questioning whether she lost that much money in that particular game. Because that's an old Filipino game. And she said, I don't believe the woman lost 1 million. But he believes her. This is what I'm talking about. We come over here, we get whipped. We'll believe anything these women tell us. I wouldn't give a damn. You're going to spend 1 million pesos a man? I'm sorry. You can't pay me back. And he's just sitting there looking stupid. I couldn't watch it, man. And she's crying and more crocodile tears. You know, I couldn't watch that thing, man. Once I found out what was going on, I had to get off of that. I couldn't watch it, Thomas. Because this is the problem. No one's held accountable over here. I'd be damned if you're going to take 1 million. I'm taking care of you. According to him, he's paying for the kids' college degree. College education and everything. It's like, dude, you can't find another woman. But Maryland said, you can't lose 1 million pesos doing that. She did something else with that money. According to Maryland, because I don't know anything about that game. Maryland does. She said people play it all the time, but it's little, 100 pesos, 200 pesos. That lady ain't spent all that money. She did. Maryland said she had to be playing that thing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, no sleep. It's just not enough involved. But yeah, I saw that. She wouldn't be with me. But that's why I tell you, the Philippines draws a different type of expat, a different type of man over here. And you know good and well, if somebody owed him $20 in America, he's ready to fight him. He's not going to speak to him for the rest of their life. But she takes 1 million pesos? Nah, it ain't like she's a damn piece. Even if she was, I'm sorry. I saw it when it first came out. I knew it was going to get a lot of attention on its own. The algorithm picked it up, and then I saw where Asia Now, Living Abroad did a reaction to it, but that video's a few weeks old, maybe a month old or something like that. No, it's crocodile tears, man. What's up, TJ? What's up, Gerald? But yeah, I wouldn't be worrying about, in Vietnam, you can only be there 90 days. But TJ's on here. He knows more about it than me. But yeah, I wouldn't I wouldn't deal with that shit, man. $1,000,000 pesos. All the shit you doing. Yeah. He said, $1,000,000 on gambling. Nah, mama, you're about to hit the blade for me and catfish these next pets until I get mine back. Yeah, you got to do something. It's just not real, man. It's just not real to me. Now, this is how they take you for granted. How could he trust her after that? She knows she got him now. That's like a woman gambling away $1 million of your dollars in America. I'm not talking about the exchange rate. You know how hard it would be for her to come up with $1,000,000 over here? Impossible. Just like it'd be hard for you earning $20 an hour on your job to save up $1 million. He spent a fortune over here, but he's not looking at it like that. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Bullshit. It made me mad. I couldn't watch it, man. I could not watch it. But the second thing, guys, is that budget. They claim we lying about the budget. Our prices in the Philippines, are higher, are lower, depending on what video you watch. The affordability of the Philippines. They say we're lying about that, but we're not, for real. They talk about that $1,000 per month budget. To say that that's not possible, I would be lying. It is possible, but I would have to add, what kind of life are you going to live over here on $1,000 a month? Half of that is going to go towards your rent and your utilities, your immigration. Okay? Then the other half's going to have to go on your food. I mean, if you smoke or drink or whatever, but to say you can't do it, that's not true, because right now that would be 58,830 pesos per month. You know what kind of job you'd have to have over here to earn that kind of money? A damn good job. You probably earning more than a councilman over here. But obviously you can do it. What we're saying is, when we talk about it's not doable, because you're not going to have any kind of lifestyle. Hey, thanks for that super chat. TJ says it's warming up faster than an MF down here in central Vietnam. Still tolerable now, but we're moving into wife beater and hoop short season. Make sure to bring light rain gear, but pack for heat, Cal. Yeah. I'm going to wear the same stuff I wear here in the Philippines. Maryland's going to buy new shit over there. I'm simple. I'm excited to get to Vietnam just to do something different. I already bought some new slippers. I don't need anything. Well, he says, how did she even have access to this much of his money? He put it in her bank account. Now, if he did that to see if he could trust her, dude, you can't trust her. $1,000,000 over here, chill wheel, it's like $1,000,000 over there. There's no way I'm sitting there looking stupid. Look at the look on his face. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, man. He said $1,000,000 is about 17 grand now. It's a lot of money. Now it's $1,000,000 over here. See, when you make it 17 grand, it lessens the blow. No, it's $1,000,000. Don't convert that. Don't convert that. If you're going to convert it to $1,000,000 over there. Damn 17,000 over here. How's she going to come up with she's not working. She don't have a job. It would be impossible for her to come up with $1,000,000 over here. Unless somebody gave it to her. But we talk about the budget. And they say, oh, they're lying to you. You can't live on $1,000. You can. You can do it very easily. And it depends on where you're going to live. If you live in St. Carlos City, I already showed you. I've got 2 videos I did on those apartments over there in San Julio, Teachers Village. For about $11,000, she raised the price down. One of them, the 1 bedroom is $11,000. Then she got one for $13,000. It's a 1 bedroom, but it's a lot bigger. Fully furnished. Wi-Fi and cable included. All you got to do is pay your electric. It just depends on where you live, but you certainly can do that. So now you're looking at what, $200 rent and everything. Your electric, just say another 100. You're looking at $300. Now you got $700 left to take care of your food and your immigration, your transportation. You can do it, but I would say you're going to be limited on where you can live and what you can do. When you get to a place like the Philippines, you're going to always want to do something, man. The weather's always going to entice you to want to go to the beach. You're going to have a woman with you. She's going to want to do stuff. It's going to limit you, but yeah, you can do it. We're not lying about that. And I've always told you about the prices here. They might not be less than Thailand, might not be less than Vietnam and all those other places, but it's less than where you come from. You get free money when you move to the Philippines. When I left to come to the Philippines in 2018, my last rent that I paid was $900 per month. It was going up to $940. If I wasn't out of there by December the 1st, it would have been $940. When I got to the Philippines, my rent was 11,000 pesos. So I got about $700 worth of free money. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I said that's in. Yeah, that's okay though, brother. It's a dark green super chat. He says, after seeing all the Philippine videos, I'm thinking Cambodia seems all about the women there. I'm 51 and don't want to be the guy who dies 30 years at this plant and dies a year after retirement. Well, that's not going to be the case either. I would say come over here. That's what I told the guy earlier that had a similar comment as yours. Sapper West. You're not going to know what you got until you get here. If you think the Philippines is just, it's not a shithole, guys. There's a reason people stay here. Like me and millions of other people that stay here. A lot of them, 5.9 million, they don't include them as expats. They include them as tourists, but a lot of them end up staying here. That's why those expat numbers are different. A lot of people stay here on a tourist visa, but they stay here. And remember, you can use this as a base, man. You can't beat it. I'm flying to Vietnam. It's only like a 2.5 hour flight. And then you can go from Vietnam, you can go from Ho Chi Minh City to Bangkok for less than $100 one way. He said, Cal well said about the $1,000 budget. Yeah, you can do it. But I would question what kind of lifestyle you're going to have. But to say we're lying means that you're not doing it probably. That's why you're saying we're lying. During the lockdown, before my YouTube channel, I'm telling you that all I had was my insurance renewals. It was about $1,400 a month. And I was taking care of 6 people. Now we couldn't go anywhere, which made a big difference. But $1,400 is $1,400. We was living good. That before we built this house, the house we stayed in over there, that 2-bedroom, was nice. Western style. Really nice. He said the shopping here is going to really do it for you, buddy. If they make a counterfeit of it, you can find it in Vietnam. Yeah. See, that's why I'm not gonna take a whole lot over there in my luggage. I get 23 kilos because I'm gonna bring some stuff back, mainly for the kids and stuff. No, they're not married. He said trust her with $1 million. I didn't marry. It's just a different type of guy that comes over here, and we're gonna talk about this, Q. Now you see these guys, we're gonna talk about the age-gap relationships and dating. Are we lying about that? But no, their budget, we're not lying about that. Hey, what's up, Saran a lot? But the thing is that he's not going to hold her accountable. Because she's changing his oil every day. He wasn't getting that in where he was coming from. He's getting the tune up. And Lord knows what else. But he's not holding her accountable. There's no way in the world you're going to take $1 million pesos from me, claim you gambled it away on some old bullshit game over here that you can win 100 or 200 pesos, and you buying that? Hook, line, and sinker? No, I'm sorry. We be on Robbie Tufo. Even though I know I'm not going to get my money, the whole world would know, lady, you cheated me. Okay? No, he ain't. Man, did you see, if you watch the video, he loves this woman. Probably the last woman he can possibly get. There's a whole lot of everything. It's not just a house. She would never come up with $1 million pesos. Period. End of story. Never, as in ever. The only reason we give them this, look, remember the other day I'm saying on my live stream, I said, hey, if you're going to deal with a Filipina and she's your live-in partner, y'all got a relationship, give her minimum wage. Because she probably is not going to have a job when you meet her. Let her earn that kind of money. They haven't even been together that long. And I said, because we're overspending. We're giving them too much money. We're ruining them. Guys, listen to this. Then you're going to ruin yourself. He's going to need that $1 million pesos. That could be his emergency fund. I'd be damned if I'm going to let your chicken head ass spend it on gambling. If you claim you gambling. Bullshit. Okay, I'm sorry. And if he's going to deal with that and put up with that, then that's on him. It's none of my business. But I watched the video. They put the video out there for you to watch it. He said, I lost the house to a Pinoy or a Pinay. 30,000 US, but I'm happy because I never lost a few million of my money in my bank. I'm extremely happy with my Thai girlfriend now. Yeah, it's just we give them too much money. I don't understand. That's a lot of money, okay, for her. So that's what, like $1.5 million or something like that. Yeah, he says, I got a 1-bedroom for $100 a month, so you got 9 left. There's plenty of places you can find. Look at Brother K. What's his 5,000 where he is. He said, Cal been watching a lot of scam and romance stories. What makes it so crazy, a lot of it's true, and us men still falling for it. Yeah, but if they're not real people, if they're just talking behind, they showing these pictures and stuff, they're not lying. But I don't watch stuff like that. No, I'm not acting broke. I'm sorry. That's called lying. These women know you're not broke. How did you get over here if you broke? See, that's the reason why she's chatting 3 or 4 men. That's the reason. That's one of the ways they vet us. To them, that's a lot of money to come over here. We think all 1,000 or 1,200 or whatever you pay for that round trip ticket is nothing. To her, that's 70,000 pesos. Hell, that's almost a whole year's salary. Now they know you got money. That first 2 week trip when you go crazy. You staying in hotels, you're paying 3,000 pesos a day. She can't fathom that amount of money. She can't wrap her mind around that. See, this is where y'all messing up. This is how they vet you. You're spending a fortune. 3,000 pesos a day? To you, that's nothing but $50. To her, it's 3,000 a day. She's like, he's got to be rich. And then you eating out at TGI Fridays every night. There's another 12 to 1,500 pesos just to eat. That's her budget for the whole month for food. Okay? He said, I don't want to jinx myself, but I've been getting lucky with renewing my visa for 3 months. I didn't even think they had a 3-month option. When they got it on there, they've got 1, 2, or 6. And you can't do the 6 anymore unless you have, certain qualifications. But what you're doing is you're renewing your visa early. They're not giving you 3 months. There is no 3-month option. Okay, say for instance, my visa is due to expire February 27th, which I'll be out of the country. But I could go today. They would renew it, and then it wouldn't start until February 27th. I'm not getting this extra time because I've already paid for it. There is no 3-month option, Thomas. No, there's 200 rent over here. Okay? But let's talk about the age gap relationships and dating. They're saying, oh, you're lying. No, we're not lying. 18 to 80, blind, crippled, or crazy is real over here just because of their financial situation. This is why you got to do, if you think we're lying, is go on TikTok. That's where you see most of these age gap couples. You see I interviewed James and what's his girlfriend's name? His wife's name. I should be ashamed. I can't remember. He's 63. She's 21 now. I guess she's 21. But you will see these guys acting a fool on TikTok. Grown ass men. Because they whip. They pussy whipped. They got a young woman. She got them on TikTok because they think that's how they earn money. They ain't trying to do YouTube. But no, that's real over here because her financial situation and then his loneliness and isolation. You'll see more when you come over here. But if you think we're lying, just turn it on TikTok or Facebook. They very seldom will you see them on YouTube unless it's a interview. But yeah, they're not lying about that. Okay, you'll see I know so many couples like that. She might be 30, he might be 75. Okay? He said I could have one there and one in Thailand. Yeah, you could. You could. And that's what people are doing. I was watching Philippines in Full Effect. I think they were being interviewed. Yeah. And he said they got a nice place in Iloilo, but they're going to keep that place. And then they're going to rent a place in Vietnam. I believe the name. Yeah, but, I don't believe these. I don't believe these budget videos when they say that. Okay? Because the more money, he's earning money on YouTube now. The more money you earn, the more you're going to spend. And all that running around and everything he's doing, don't buy that, guys. That may be his basics is $1,200. No, I don't believe that. That's why I don't do budget videos. How much money is he giving that woman he's with? He don't tell you that. Okay, he's giving her money. Because she's got kids, I'm sure. You think these women are just sitting around, you hanging around you all the time and you're not giving them anything? That's the one thing that's missing out of their budgets. Okay? is the woman. They don't include her. But I'm sorry. You better include her in the budget. Hey, Maximili, thanks for that super chat. He said, "What's up, Big Cal? Long time viewer tapping in from vacation in Osaka, Japan. Wow. Don't let the haters stop you." No, man. I'm human, Maximili. And, it's frustrating to think that, people are going to come after you, and everybody's got a breaking point. They're not going to stop me, but it's aggravating to me that grown men, act like that. These are grown men, but honestly, I've got enough supporters to override that, but sometimes it just gets tiring, man. Every time you look up, your face is on a thumbnail. Somebody's discussing your business, your family, or whatever it is, and you can only take so much of that shit, man. But no, it's not gonna stop me. Remember, success is the greatest revenge. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, that age gap, relationships, and dating, no, it's fairly easy to meet a woman over here. But you just gotta remember there's motives behind it. These women aren't just with us because we're good looking and intelligent. And once you can get past that, you seem to be okay. But, when you're going back and forth with men because they saying, oh, my woman's different, it's not true, man. It's not true. If you only knew the financial situation of some of these women over here, you would know. Cisco said, when we heading out, I don't want to give you the exact date because haters is watching. But, I think I already told Q anyway. But it's February 16th. I won't tell them when I'm coming back. But yeah, they be watching. But the next thing is ugly expats. They say, meaning, stay away from the other expats, especially Americans. Are we lying about that? Honestly, I'm going to tell you, man, that the overwhelming majority of expats over here, including Americans, are great guys that I met. But you're going to have to be the judge of who you want to hang around and be around. If you're loud, obnoxious, and you're drinking all the time, and if your woman's not happy, I'm not going to be around you. I'm not going to be around you when you're drinking anyway. But you're going to be in your early 50s, 60s, 70s. You're going to have to go by your own judge of character. But the overwhelming majority of expats I meet here, including Americans, are good people. But there are some that you got to watch out for. They come over here, they're angry. They're not getting what they want out of life. He said I was depressed when I left. We all are. He says, hey, Cal, is there a nice beach close to you in St. Carlos? Well, we've got Sapaway Island. We've got some clean beaches, but they're nothing like, Siquijor, Palawan, anything like that. The closest real beach like that to me is 3 hours away. Lackawanna Island, which is really nice. But it's expensive because that's all it is. The resort there is the only resort. It doesn't have any competition. Everything is owned by the same company. So just a regular room with no inside, you got to share bathrooms. It's like 4,500 pesos a night. And when I'm talking about shared bathrooms, they've got, like 10 public restrooms connected where you use the bathroom, you take a shower and all that stuff, right? and that's 4,500 a night because they're the only game in town. But we don't have a S&R here. There's one in Cebu. There's one in Bacolod. I don't know if there's one in Dumaguete. He said, one thing I'm spoiled with is buying lotion. I love some Aveeno. Yeah, but Landers in BGC is like $2,500 for the big one. Yeah, you don't want to buy Aveeno. Just have people send it to you. A friend of mine, Bill, he's here. He just came to back to the Philippines, but he sent some Balik buying boxes before he got here. And he sent me 3 big things of it. You know, it's cheap in America. I just ordered on Amazon. It's free. Shipping if it's over $49. But yeah, ugly expats, you know, you got to have friends over here, man. That's why we have the meet and greets. It's not to meet me. It's for us to come together. Anytime you anywhere and there's a meet and greet, no matter who has it, even if you don't follow the channel, man, you need to go there. Like in Cebu, I believe every Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, they've got an expat meetup every Tuesday in Cebu. I would go there if I were you. That way you can talk and chop it up like we're talking and chopping it up now. But you hear a lot of people saying that, you know, about, you know, stay away from expats when you go there. That's not true, in my opinion. Okay, he said it would take most Filipinos 5 years of working a typical job to earn 1 million pesos. Yeah, but just to earn it. But we're talking about having it in your hand, Cisco. It'd take them a whole lot longer than that because there is no savings. The money spent when they get it. You know, having a million cash and earning $1 million is totally different. What that lady did was just, you know, it's unforgivable, really. You know, you can't tolerate that kind of behavior. If she's going to do that, what else is she going to do? I'm sorry, man. You know, but if you're not going to hold them accountable, they're going to do something like that again. I would have walked away from that. It's too many other women over here. It's not like, did he say whether he had built a house or something? I just don't have a woman that would do that to me. You know, that was already there. That was already a part of her. He just missed that. You know, because he's thinking with the wrong head. Okay, I don't even know what he thought he was gonna, you know, get from making that video. Yeah, more views. And now he's going to be the laughing stock. People are going to pick that video up just like I think Asia Now picked it up. And then other big bloggers are going to pick it up because they're going to hold him out as being the standard. He's not the standard for real. Things like that happen to us over here, but very little, guys. Okay? It's crazy. No way. What's up? But yeah, if you do have a S&R, and then there's another one, Landers, because they got that in Bacolod too. And every time we go past there, we just went past there. We're supposed to sign up. We didn't do it. But I got a friend here that does it, man. He gets good steaks from there. I let him use my grill on 4th of July, man. It's the best steaks I've had in a while. Yeah. See? Okay. He said 10,000 a month is average for a family of 5. That's from the Philippine Statistics website. But when you're going to give a woman access to $1 million like that, you go back home to the United States, according to the story, and come back and she done spent $1 million of your pesos, man, you better keep stepping. You better keep stepping. He said gambling problems like that don't just go away. Even if you stop gambling, you most likely have an addictive personality and would just fall into another hole. So, there's just something there's no way I could sleep around her anymore. I'm sorry, man. He never should have put that video out because I don't know what he expects to gain out of that. Yeah, it's gone, but she still got some spots. Well, not that's just because they've got a top 10. They've got a 10% too. Q. He says if Filipinos earn so little, why can't we explain why they got these expensive ass condos and shopping malls? Where's the logic? It's easy to explain. Everybody over here is not broke. If the Philippines has 120 million people, and just say, do you realize before the pandemic, man, the middle class here was booming. It was exploding. And you got to understand something else. The OFWs, Q, are sending in 2024, which is the last figures they have, OFWs sent back 38 billion US dollars to the Philippines in 1 year. They're averaging over $3.3 billion a month, Q. That's how they do it. Everybody over here is not broke. There's a big middle class over here. Some of them call center agents earn a nice living. They're earning 50, 60, 70,000 a month. And then they're not like us. They can live together. 2 or 3 of them can get one of those nice condominiums and share it. Or 4 of them. Imagine trying to get 4 expats, because Taj was over in Cambodia and he showed me a nice McMansion for rent. And I said, see, that's the type of stuff that expats could do, but we would never do. I brought that up about 4 years ago on one of my videos, 3 years ago, when a friend of mine had rented a McMansion in Lapu-Lapu, and right across the street from it was a 5-bedroom, 5-bath McMansion for rent. I think they wanted, I forgot what they wanted for that, but it would have been easy to, I think they wanted $100,000 per month. So that would have been, $20,000 per month for everybody to have a nice place like that. But we couldn't do it. We can't get along. He said, yeah. He said, I would, he said, you have a lot of time. I strongly suggest reading a book on socioeconomics to answer your own question. Yeah. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's a lot of money over here, man. Don't you know this Rolls Royce? They got a Rolls Royce dealership up in BGC. Did you know that, Q? There's Filipinos driving around here in, what's that car that Elon Musk makes? Yeah, a lot of guys love that 6. Yeah, but the Philippines is trying to keep in contact with you. You know, it's hard to keep up with your whereabouts if you only got to come in twice a year. They're saying, no, we want to know where you are at all times. So come in here every 2 months. There's no reason they did that. Yeah, Arceley and James. I'm sorry, man. Sorry, James. I hope y'all watching. Yeah, we don't give away money like that. We don't throw away money like that. You know, it's just crazy. Yeah, this is true. This is true, but his horror story, makes all of us look bad. But in all actuality, it's not that bad over here. But as long as he's going to let a woman get away with that, he's happy as hell. He's like, okay, I'll suck you tonight. I'll keep on sucking you every night. Just forgive me for whatever you done with that million pesos, lady. You ain't gambled it away on that little game. I'm putting him up on game. Dude, that woman ain't spend that $1 million on that little jackpot situation, man, of a game. Okay, I'm sorry. But she didn't. It ain't enough. It's just not enough. Hey, TJ, thanks for that super chat. He said, correction. Western expats don't link up for stuff like that. Not just here, but in Pats, yeah. Senegal, Koreans and Indians link up and rent villas, yeah. I know, we just don't do it. Western, yeah, correction, yeah, Western. Let me say that. Because remember when you rented that villa in Lapu Lapu, you and your girl, me and Marilyn, it was Michael Beach Life and his girlfriend. Were we the only 3 couples there? And then your helper. See, imagine if we could rent something like that, which we could, and live there every single day. We're not going to do it. We can't live together. But that was a nice place right there, TJ, that you rented. That's when I was introduced to that TJ lifestyle. I mean, that was probably as nice of a place that I ever stayed in the Philippines in all my years. Private beach, swimming pool, everything was there. Yeah, so something ain't right. Something ain't right. Yeah, Tesla. Yeah, I mean, you just look at his expression, and just looking at his expression makes me on one hand feel bad for him, and on the other hand, I want to choke him. Like, why are you still sitting there, dude? Pack your shit and get out of there before you make another video where she done took everything you got. Yeah, guys, hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Jeffrey. No, I'm sorry. It's not, man. Man, you better read up on, you better put some respect on some of these people over here. Okay, the top 400 richest people in the world, don't you know 2 of them was in the Philippines? They've got a Walmart type of family over here, the people who run SM. And then the Ayala, the family behind Ayala, watch that video I showed you. Some of these families, they have so much money that their economies into themselves, Q. They got more money than you could ever dream about having. They got their own malls, man. Their own banks. Okay, and all that stuff filters out to a certain point of all their little connection and everything, friends and family and all that. They got their own politicians, their own construction companies, man. No, I'm sorry, no. I'm just saying that I don't care because let me tell you something, man, and don't come on here with the foolishness. You guys, y'all know so much. You're too smart. If you know my history, you know that every time since they lobbed those charges on me, every time I've come back into the country twice, they've harassed me. And I was worried about it both times. I'm just not worried about it anymore. And I don't secretly hoping nothing. I got a daughter over here, sir. Okay? I've got a daughter over here. There's no telling who you are. You're probably one of the guys lobbing the fake charges. I've got a beautiful home here, a beautiful family, the best life I've ever had over here. But I'm saying, I don't worry about that anymore. I don't lose any sleep over that. So get off of my channel with that stuff. You come up again, you're going to be zapped. Secretly nothing. You guys think y'all know me. Why don't you just ask me? You don't know nothing about me. Yeah, Gasano family. Y'all, it's a bunch of them. It's a lot of money over here that you just don't have no idea. Okay? Yeah, I mean, that's rich. Okay, when I walk from San Carlos City just to Valle Hermoso. Okay, once you get from, see, San Carlos City is in Negros Occidental. It's about 20, 25 kilometers till you get to the Negros Oriental border. Don't you realize that one family owns all of that? 20-something kilometers of nothing but land. You better put some respect on that. Yeah, it's a lot of money over here. But let's address this since we're on the discussion about the man and the million pesos, which he's a damn fool. I mean, I don't even know why y'all brought that up, man. My blood is boiling. Like, dude, you cannot allow her to get away with that. Okay? She's got to be held accountable. She only wants me for my money. Is that true? Are we lying when we tell y'all that? Absolutely not. That's 100% facts. Okay? You don't understand her struggle at all over here. It's worse. It's 10 times worse than what you can imagine. We already talked about first world problems, third world problems. First world struggle, third world struggle. First world poverty, third world poverty. Okay, ain't no food stamps coming over here. There's no Section 8, no free health care, none of that. No disability insurance, no unemployment. What else we get over there? That's unbelievable that they would, no AFDC checks. Okay, it's just gut level poverty. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. They don't have, the same tax base as we've got over there. I've never had a problem paying taxes, even though we have some of the highest taxes of any industrialized country. About 40% is what they were taking from me over my lifetime. And it's what they're taking from you. And they taxing you on everything else. Sales tax, state tax. Okay? But she only wants me for my money. That's initially. There's no way, guys. I mean, I don't know why y'all fooling yourself. But y'all already know it. Y'all just in denial. That's why you come over here 8,000 miles, because you know that's the key to the entry is your pension. That's the only way you're going to get a 25-year-old woman. And you're 65. Okay? And it's always going to be the case. Until she's able to, you give her the visa, that new life. Remember, she's looking for more than just a husband or boyfriend on those dating sites. If you don't hear nothing else I say today, know that. She's looking for a doctor, a psychologist, a social worker, a banker. She really needs a guide. She needs somebody who can give her a new life. She doesn't like the card she was dealt. She wants to throw her hand in. She wants to be dealt a new hand. And that's what that visa does. That's what you do for her. These women ain't liking you guys, man. Look in the mirror. Damn. I'm tired of going back and forth with you guys. Oh, my girlfriend's different. No, she's not. Women aren't crazy. Okay? So, yeah, we're not lying about that. Because some guy said under my video yesterday, it was an old video, but I read the comment yesterday. He said he was dead set on Colombia. He met his Colombian dream girl, but he almost married the whole family. He said, I got my sights on the Philippines now. And I'm like, well, dude, you're going to marry the whole family over here. So let's go to that one. Marrying the family. Is that true or false? For the most part, it's true. Technically, because she's going to share her blessing. She's not going to leave her family behind, guys. I'm sorry. And guys always say that, oh, I'm not going to take care of the family. I'm not responsible for that. Well, whatever you're giving her, she's giving some to the family, maybe all of it. But yeah, marrying the family is real, and they're just not gonna. They're not cut from that cloth, guys. And if you with a Filipina who's okay with that, with not helping her family, you with the wrong one. Okay, I'm sorry, because you're gonna get a whole lot more in return than what you're giving out. You know, Marilyn's mother lived with us. I felt so bad, I started giving her salary. She does so much, man. You know, far more than, the money I was giving her. And then I'm gonna show y'all that I'm getting the barbed wire put behind on my back wall back there, because believe it or not, one of the bad guys told me, I let him do some work for me. He said, you want to get barbed wire back there, sir, because that wall is too low. Somebody can easily climb over that. When he told me that, you asked Merlin. Didn't the minute he told us about that, I got right on it. I said, now we need to do that. He told us, well, her brother's doing it. I pay him, but hell, he does great work. But yeah, you marrying the whole family. And when you hear these guys, and they be lying when they say, oh, no. Are they going to directly ask you? Probably not. If they directly ask you, you got problems. Okay? If they directly ask you, you got problems, but more than likely, you're going to be helping the family. I'm sorry. Yeah, but it's different. It's different, Frank. He said all women would love to have a rich man all over the world. Yeah, but see, when you say stuff like this, which is true, you're taking out of context what we're saying. Okay, which of course she wants a rich man. She would much rather have a rich Filipino man. She doesn't want a rich man that has to come all the way from the other side of the planet. And she's 20 and he's 60. Okay, see, remember, Filipinos are a lot of things, but they're also great actresses. When you see them on TikTok and it looks like they're really into these men, they're not. They're not. It's about survival. But that's not your fault. I'm just telling you how it is. It's about survival. That's how close to just, I told my wife the other day, I don't have a problem with you anymore. I wish you the best. I know there's nothing here for you. Okay? But I wasn't even thinking that way when I came back here. Okay? I wasn't even thinking about that. But yeah, that's true. That you're basically marrying the whole family. See, I can't understand it. Okay, how men would even have the heart to say, because I got a guy that says, oh, I'm not responsible for her financial situation. Yeah, but you know her financial situation. But not only that, like I said, some guys you can't reach. I mean, if somebody has to say, some people just don't have the scruples. They don't have the moral compass to know that they're taking advantage of women in that situation. They'll say, oh, well, I didn't create the rules. Like, well, who raised you? But my point is, we'll say, oh, I'm not going to give her nothing. I'm going to give her family nothing. You really come over here thinking that a woman's going to date you just for who you are. Well, you're going to find out that we're not lying about that. You're going to pay. You got to pay to get here. But all you tough guys and all you slick guys and all my alpha and all that, I've seen the toughest alphas get turned out over here and made to look like fools when it's all said and done. Okay, so I just got done watching a reaction video to that. Supposedly, she squandered $500,000 out of 1.2 million in 30 days. I blame him though. He was told many times to not to. Stupid. Well, the video I watched it claimed that she spent $1 million. But anyway, 500,000. Let me call Merlin. Merlin, I want her to explain to y'all what this game is. It's such a petty game, and all Filipinos play it. That's why they can afford to play it. It's just a little bitty, tiny where you gambling. 2, 5 pesos, 10 pesos, stuff like that. Okay, to lose 500,000 pesos playing that in 30 days, Merlin's like, nah, she's lying. She done something else with that money. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're telling the truth, Cisco, because you met your wife in America. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Your situation is different, but I'd rather have the original. Okay? Well, of course, King, the digital nomad globe tracker, it doesn't matter. You're still going to spend. You know, these guys are always the ones with the perfect situation. Oh, I got it all together. I'm not like everybody else. You're still spending. There's a reason she wants to date you. When there's men over here who look better than you, they're younger than you, they have everything in common with her. They don't typically wake up with a foreigner on their mind. They go to bed thinking of Filipino men and they wake up thinking about Filipino men. Okay? I'm sorry, guys. You know, y'all need to quit with all this foolishness. Okay? There's something that you got that she wants. It ain't your good look. It ain't your good looks. Okay? It's that new life that you can give her. She does not like the hand she was dealt. She wants to throw it in. She wants a new hand. Only you can do that. Only a God can do that. She's looking for more than a husband or boyfriend. Love don't pay the rent. Okay? Y'all know that already. Love don't pay the damn rent. Y'all need to quit with all that. Hey, Confident Voice Speaks, thanks for that super chat. He said, you ain't lying about the TikTok videos. Those guys look like they never had a girlfriend before. Thank you. I mean, it's just so, it's so cringy. I'm like, dude, act like you've been with a woman before. They're just so happy that they'll do anything on the TikTok videos. Okay, and you just look at them like, oh man, you mean I'm a part of this? You know, I'm a part of this. We're all part of the 8,000 Mile Club. It's just so cringy. It makes us all look bad. It makes us all look desperate. Okay? It's like, man. But at the same time, you say, okay, I'm happy for them. Because when you look at the guys, you're like, well, I know you ain't got nothing. So I'm happy that you happy in your fourth quarter. No. Hey, Roger, thank you, brother. Good night. He says, I don't hear much about it, but is there a lot of house break-ins? Do the neighbors watch out for each other? Because most properties I see have high walls around them. Well, that's cultural. Remember, everything's cultural. Filipinos can't, you know, legally own guns. They can, but most of them have, in America, you've got fences, you've got ADT, you've got guns, you got big Rottweilers and stuff like that. Over here, they just got high walls and barbed wire. But it's for the same reason. It's really to keep honest people honest. You know, yeah, people have their houses broke into. But it's mostly, believe it or not, remember the victim and the perpetrator live close by. Strangers aren't breaking into your house nowhere in the world. When somebody breaks in your house, they usually know you. That's why they feel comfortable to do it. They know your schedule. They probably know you don't have a gun. They know your routine. You know, it don't even matter. You know, it doesn't matter. There's a reason these women, if they've got money, Raymond, there's an underlying reason why she's with you. Either the Filipino men don't want her, something's going on there. They just don't want you. Why in the world would a woman want to deal with a man who lives all the way over there? And even if you move here, who's to say you're going to stay here for years upon years? She can't really plan a future with you because in her heart of hearts, she knows it's tough over here for a lot of us. We really can't stay over here for years. You know, you guys are trying to be the exception. Okay? You got something that she needs. It's not your good looks. Okay? It's not your good looks. She might just need the help that you can give her along with the money she's got to get over the hump. Maybe it's a status symbol. But this is what I was telling you the other day. No, this is not Daily Dose. It was Daily Grind I was telling. He said, we're all spending something on any woman we date at the end of the day. Choose one in your tax bracket. Yeah, but it's different over here. He said, what do you think that money? There's no telling. Maybe they'll pay off some debt or something. That lady ain't spent that money on that game. Ask your wife about that game. Every Filipino knows about that game. The stakes are so small. Yeah. It takes a while. You know, Tam heals all those wounds, but I never really was angry with her. I was only angry that she left. You know, once I thought it all the way through and got honest about it, I know why she left. Remember, I told y'all guys, these women on a mission, man. They have a mission. And if their mission ain't complete, you're not bringing them back here. Okay, man, I met a guy. He's been married to his Filipino wife for, I don't know how many years. She's been gone for 14 years. I had dinner with him and a friend of his and the friend's wife, and we're sitting there, and he's talking about his wife, and, you know, he said when they came back here to the Philippines, she wasn't happy about it. And she wasn't here long, and she went back. And I said, well, hell, how long did she? He said that was 14 years ago. A lot of the women are on a mission, man, when you take them home. Well, I'm sorry, I don't care. It's just the way I am. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. I'm not hollering. It pisses people off. This is the people like this right here. These people are grown, man. They're grown. And because of my proximity to my computer, but I don't have to explain nothing to you. Just keep scrolling. Can you do that? You can't help yourself. You're a kin. You got to stop in here and say something to be seen. Okay, I'm going to give you your, 45 seconds of fame. Now get out of here. Pissing people off. Better be pissed off than pissed on. This is what I was told. He says, I'm not dancing for no Filipino TikTok. Yeah. But you're not desperate either. You've had nice looking women before. No, we're just telling the truth about, okay, everything they're saying is true. Everything that they're saying is true. we're disputing these videos that popped up from time to time that say, oh, vloggers are lying to you. What they're not telling you, or they're not telling you the whole story. Okay, well, we're going to talk about it. We're going to tell you the whole story that you claim we're not telling. It's usually new vloggers who really just now getting in the mix, so they're trying to get views, so they say, oh, they're lying to you. They'll just say that. Excuse me. That'll be on the thumbnail. But what they do then, they proceed to lie. And they proceed to not tell the whole story. But they say we lying about this stuff. We're sugarcoating it over here. I promise you, not the vloggers who gain traction. I haven't seen a video like that where they're sugarcoating anything. Somebody send me a link then to show me where one of these guys like me, Paul, LP, anybody, are sugarcoating and telling you, oh, it's going to be, heaven when you get here. I want to see that. I haven't seen one. That's why I'm making this. Yeah. But most of them you see, the ones that are cringy, are these older guys. And they're just so proud. And it's like, I don't know. It's just cringy to me. It's not illegal. And I'm happy that they're happy, but that doesn't mean it's cringy. It's not cringy, I mean. Yeah, no boyfriend since birth, yeah. He says, someone breaking into your house is such a violation of your personal space. Let me stop right there real quick. When I had an American girlfriend. I was living in Cincinnati, Ohio. And we were in a fourplex, two down here, two up here. We lived over here. And our apartment was broken into. I could never sleep there again. He said, I remember coming home from school in the 5th grade to a ransacked house. Awful feeling. Yeah, because see, I knew something was wrong the minute that I walked up to the door. It was cracked open. And we found out later on, the police said it was a grown-ass man living with his parents upstairs who did it. Okay. Check out the House of Lachan if you want Filipino food. Hey, TJ, thanks for that super chat. He said, my girl has never been into TikTok dances versus endless scrolling. But my housekeeper back in Davao, we first broke the formality, by the way, between us, is me catching her filming a dance on my balcony on her break. Yeah, you're going to see them everywhere. Everywhere you go, you're going to see them off to the side. Everybody's doing a TikTok. If I go now, do my walk, and I go in that little cul-de-sac in there, it's all kinds of people doing their TikTok. But you see the men with these women, right? Oh, my God. He said, House of Lachan, yeah, they got good food there. If you can get there, because they're so popular, the last time I went, a friend that follows my channel, he treated me there. He said, hey, meet me at the House of Lachan. Well, hell, we waited so long, all the Lachan was gone. Then next thing you know, they end up bringing us some, some Lachan they had set aside for the special people who didn't show up. But the rest of the food was good. I mean, I really enjoyed the food. Well, actually, I went there twice. I went there with my buddy Q-Dub and his wife. He said, Cal, you're wrong. I'm blind, crippled, and crazy, and she loves me for me. Yeah, I bet she does. He said, Cal doesn't scream or shout. He's got some amazing vocal cords. Well, those people just, they come on here. They want to be seen. Remember I told you, thank you, that People want to be comment stars. They're not seen or heard anywhere else but in the comments. They just want to be seen or heard. So they stop by and do a drive-by like that. What's the name of that game that lady, honey? Wait. What's the name of that gambling game that, remember we watched that video? What's it called? Scatter. Now wait, before you go. Is it possible to lose $1 million pesos doing that? Is it possible for somebody? No, but I'm saying you said that the wager is real small.
You can only pay
How much?
like Jik do it. 500, 300.
Yeah. See, if she went through $1 million pesos or 500,000 pesos in 30 days, I don't even know what the whole point of it is. You know, but it's very little wager. No. I didn't say it's overpriced. I said it's popular. And so it stays crowded. You just got to pick. You remember you're in Cebu too, Expat Crowd. He says, why would you say check out House of Lechon when it's only Lechon is overpriced and overcrowded, much better place to go? I'm just saying check it out because he said Filipino food. That's why. There's a whole lot of places to eat, but yeah, if you see, okay, the best place to eat anywhere around Cebu, this is my opinion, Expat Crowd, is Morning Glory Grill in Lapu-Lapu. You're not going to find better food than that. It's a Korean restaurant. Everything on the menu is excellent. The prices are reasonable, but the food is outstanding. It's the best food I've had in the Philippines. Okay, he said, just got a Lazada order. But people won't go there. I tell them all the time. We had a meet and greet there one time. Derek Q set it up. And but the night before, he took me and Merlin, him and his wife, and me and Merlin went. And man, I couldn't believe it. The food was so delicious. Yeah, it's so many places. I was just telling him that. I mean, we're not going to argue over that, okay? We're not going to argue over that, guys, okay? It's just so much other stuff. He said, I rock with you, Unc. You on one tonight. LOL, can't wait till the next live stream and put on Patreon. My card got hit up for the fee, but the channel is dry as a bone right now. No, it's not. I just put a video there. You know, but you gotta understand that Patreon is really to show your support for my YouTube channel. It's not really to just all the time put content there. It's just a way for you to support my channel. I mean, but you don't have to do it. I mean, you have to understand that's not how it works, Richard. It's not dry as a bone. I just put a video up there a couple of days ago. Yeah, that but see, you know, you guys, y'all be, what do they call it? Dry. It's not dry snitching, it's dry hating. When you come on and say something like that, dude, on my public channel, you might as well just get rid of your membership. And with friends like you who needs enemies, man, that's dry hating right there. Okay? Don't do that to me, man. I deserve better than that. Go and do that to one of them other channels that won't even speak to you, doesn't speak your language and all that. But for you to come on my live stream and say that, man, yeah, I'm offended by that. It's not dry as a bone. It's a lot of information I put there that I don't put on either my members only or my public. But Patreon is a whole different, it's not YouTube. It's almost like Discord. You know, we can chat back and forth and, you know, you can ask me things and you just don't know how to use Patreon. Patreon is not YouTube. Okay, do your research, man, but don't come on my channel with that dry hate and stuff, man. I'm offended. He said, I walked in, the door cracked, and called mom at work. She told me to get out of the house. She was scared someone was there hiding. I walked all through the house. Cops found out it was a neighbor. Yeah, it's always somebody that knows you. But yeah, that's what happened to us. I never slept good in that house after that. We end up moving. He said, yeah, I give Cal a decent amount of crap about food in the Philippines, but he put me on to all three of my top Cebu go-tos. Albaca, La Lucha, and AA Barbecue. Yeah, only the Hogue one. I'm glad you said that. That's the only one that I would suggest. The La Hogue. I mean, the food is just so delicious at that AA. But go to Morning Glory Grill next time. But this AA Barbecue, man, come on. It's so good. And they'll cook your food any way you want it. Grill it, fry it. What else? There's another way that they cook it. But it's good. Man, the shrimp there is the best I've ever had. The way they deep fry that. He said, yeah, they're playing too much of the scatter game. Yeah. I mean, if you already, okay, this goes to show you this woman's got a problem. Now, she's got $1 million that she just likes to gamble. I'm a gambler. I just haven't gambled since 2018. She's already got 1 million pesos. It's not the money. She just wants to gamble. She's addicted to the excitement. Okay? She's already got 1 million pesos. You could never in your lifetime win 1 million pesos playing scatter. But you're addicted to the action. I hope he's watching this and listening to me. Your woman's got a problem. She can't win 1 million pesos playing scatter, dude. She's addicted to the action. Excitement. Okay, that's what she's addicted to. Because I used to be the same way. My wife would be like, you lost some $1,000 there? I won 5,000 one time, but I won it so fast. I went off the boat, had something to eat, and while I'm sitting there, I'm looking at, I had a stack of hundreds. That's what a stack of hundreds is. $100 bills is. $5,000. I was like, well, damn, I promise you, I won it in like 45 minutes. The guy got hot on the dice. And I said, well, hell, if I won 5,000 in 45 minutes, what could I do in a couple of hours? I went back and lost it all, man. It has nothing to do with the money anymore. We're a different type of creature. The money we lose, okay, people look at you like you crazy. It's the same as being a drug addict or anything else you're addicted to. I used to be there, man. I'd go there after work and everything. I'd go there like, just say 5:30, 6 o'clock. And next thing you know, I'm sitting up there and it'd be like 6 in the morning. And it'd be like I'd only been there an hour. He said, gambling addicts, I see them all the time whenever I visit and when I'm at the Pinoy parties. He doesn't have to, he has to realize that it's a bigger problem than what she's putting on to. You already got 1 million pesos, lady. There's no reason for you to play the scatter game. Guy, there's no reason for her to play that. She could never win. This is what used to happen on the boat when we used to gamble. Guys that have so much money, and the guy who would win wouldn't have but a little bit of money. He'd get hot on the dice. Dude, you can't even win this much you got over here. It's not that much money in the game. You're just addicted to gambling. One of the lowest what? Was ranked one of the lowest what? Q. And what, what if that's the case, why did you come over here and get married and have a child over here? If you ain't got nothing good to say about it. Okay, let's go to the next one. Infrastructure. We always have arguments over the infrastructure. And, is it, they'll say that we're lying. They say that it's worse than what we're saying. And I'm calling bullshit on there. I'm just saying that it was infrastructure that brought you into the Philippines, the airport, and it's infrastructure when you're going to leave. I'm not trying to build an atomic bomb over here. What I'm trying to do over here, the infrastructure is good enough. We're not living in the 1800s, ladies and gentlemen, over here. Can you compare it to the United States or Thailand and all that? No, but why would you want to do that anyway? That's like the grass is always greener. You're never going to be happy here if your mind is always somewhere else. Then go to that other place. It has a lot to be desired. I'll tell you that. The logistics can get to you. For sure. Traveling to certain places. But to say that it's worse? Yeah, like you're living in, the 1800s or something. Well, I tell you what, he says, I'm really particular about my burgers. And the Philippines has yet to produce one I like that isn't from a Western chain. Okay, yeah. But before Mike died, he was an American here. And he owned Mike's Burger and Beer, or Mike's Beer and Burger. Whatever it was, his food was delicious, TJ. You'd have had to taste his burgers. Now, he was getting his meat from Australia. And this is before the pandemic, because after the pandemic, you couldn't import meat from certain countries and all that. And that doomed him. But you'll know a good foreign restaurant when you see a lot of Filipinos eating there. That's why La Lucha, when you go to La Lucha at a certain time, it's full of Filipinos. They know good Western food. Otherwise, why would they eat crap Western food when they can just eat their own food? It's the same. A friend told me this. He said, you will know a good Korean restaurant if you see it full of Koreans. And that's what it is with No, I'm not being bourgeoisie tonight. You come out here with that old hating, man. I don't like that dry hate. Yeah, I know. This is what's happening right now. He says, Cal, there's a video going around titled Expat Hitting a Filipina. I seen it on another channel and they saying he hit her. Upon watching the video, the girl failed multiple times. He never hit her. I saw that. But I believe that's old, man. I believe I've seen a video like that before. They're bringing up, this is why YouTube is becoming crap, man. A lot of crap. They're recycling these old videos. I've seen that video before, and if it wasn't, it was exactly like it. Where the Filipinos real drunk, and the foreigner trying to pick her up and take her home or wherever they going to. I've seen that before. But yeah, they're going to make it, remember, guys, right now, you don't want to get caught on camera doing anything. Kai sent me something about it's an Asian guy, and I guess a Filipina, and the minute and something I watched, it's only like a minute and 20 video. And when I first watched it, I was like, okay, what happened? I didn't see anything. And Kyle said, well, here's some context, about what it's supposed to happen. And now, the white knights is coming after him. They want him deported. I'm like, for this? He said, Cal, when I come to the Philippines, my goal is to plant a seed, then on to the next country. I don't understand. What do you mean, have a family? I guess that's what you're saying. Hey, Rashad, thanks for that super chat. He said, you got to chill. The Patreon live streams was lit, and I missed them. I don't hate on my people. I'm always on code Farrakhan raised my mindset. Yeah, but when you come on, go back and read what you said. I mean, you could send me a message. This is what I'm saying about my friend. I got another friend who's all up in my comments with this crazy stuff. I'm like, dude, you one of the few people who's got my WhatsApp number. Why are you in my comments with this foolishness, man? I don't get it. You're my Patreon. Put it in my Patreon. Don't put it on my public. Does that make sense? You got direct access to me on Patreon. Like, hey, Unc, when you gonna, why don't you, it's dry as a bone here. Okay? Yeah, it is dry hate. Yeah, they doing it because they don't have any content, man. People get lazy. We make this look easy. Okay? And then their live streams are dry. They're looking through the news for stuff, and that's them. Everybody's got their own way of creating content. But he said, not sure why other news channels is posting old content. Surely that's not a good idea for a strong long-term channel. But once they figure they got you, they can produce anything they want. I put pressure on myself. I just want to, if you got a YouTube channel, you've been on here long enough, and you met people over here, you go back and forth talking with people, you read your comments, you get an idea of what people want to see. And it's usually what you want to see. If you find it interesting, they're usually going to find it interesting. Maybe we need to make a video on that scatter game. See, this is why I try to tell y'all over and over about what Filipinas can do that we can't do, but they won't do it. They just want to copycat what we're doing. They can let us into a whole different arena. They don't have the creativity. I saw where the guy, what's the lady that supposedly got her channel lost? She ain't got no channel lost. They were a couple. They broke up, and the man's taking his channel. Now she wants to be the victim. Oh, he stole my channel. He didn't steal your channel, lady. You met on the dating site. Y'all were a couple. Okay, let's be real about it. The content you're doing, a Filipina and a right man, she's not going to think to do that kind of content. Go around and interviewing homeless foreigners and stuff. Okay, I'm sorry. I can see through the stuff. But just tell the truth. But you can do something that we can't do, but you want to give us, y'all want to recycle the same stuff we're doing. Talk about the scatters game and what we need to look out for with our woman if our woman is playing scatter. Tell us what the whole premise of that game is. See, that would be a good video if your woman's got a gambling problem, because a lot of Filipinos have gambling problems over here. I was watching a documentary on it. That Philippine offshore gambling, it's got a lot of people hooked, man. They're online gambling. And they're not earning a lot of money anyway. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me, Saranalai. Okay? But it's not even about a disagreement. It's just about, okay, if you want to say something to me like that, okay, do it to, do it. You've got my WhatsApp. It's easy to do that. Why come on my public arena when you know I'm going to click on your name and it's some bullshit like that? Yeah, I'm offended by that. Yeah, everybody knows that. Don't put me on blast like that, man. I mean, like I said, with friends like y'all, supporters like y'all, who needs trolls? He said, yeah, I noticed the female YouTuber had a channel taken. See, you're reading my mind. I'm reading yours. Her channel wasn't taken, guys. Okay? They can't take your channel like that. They're a couple. Okay? He probably came up with the idea, oh, let's start a YouTube channel. It's just like me bringing Marilyn into my channel right now. And then she goes out and starts making videos. And then we break up. And then when you can't, okay, we built up all these subscribers and views and stuff like that and income. Now all of a sudden, it's my channel. Instead of her just going on there and telling the real story. And then what made me kind of angry is Asia now talking for the man to be deported. I mean, come on, guys. We can't do that. Y'all starting to act like ICE over here. You know, don't do that, man. I mean, damn, go talk to the man. Give him the benefit of the doubt. Find out what happened, his side of the story. But we go straight for the ICE, straight for the immigration, the Bureau of Immigration. Let's get him, deported and blacklisted. We don't even know the man. He may have kids over here. You don't know him. Get his side of the story. But to think that that's not the story. He didn't take her channel. Because if it was her channel, he wouldn't be able to take it. Okay? If everything was in her name, he wouldn't be able to take it. Unless he scammed her like, you know how they do. They'll send you a link in your email. Oh, yeah, we want you to sponsor our product. And then you click on the link and they take over your channel. They do that. But what happened to them? No, that's a whole different story. But he said, yeah, they just say thanks for the donations. Now she's back with the same guy? I didn't see that. But I knew when I saw that video, something wasn't right. She said, yeah, well, how'd you meet him? Oh, we met on a dating site. You was a couple, lady, just say it. And y'all broke up. And now he's got the YouTube channel. It's like everybody else was saying in the comments, ma'am, look, you're the star of the YouTube channel. Just start a new channel. You're the star. He's not. All you had to do was go on there and say, hey, look, guys, I'm having some trouble with my channel, my ex. We went into this together, a partnership. Now we broke up and he's not acting right. But no, they're going to try to make the man out to be this criminal. And then you got foreigners who are advocating for other foreigners to get deported. Man, we better than that, guys. I can't trust you guys. Remember I told you, you don't have no friends on YouTube, man. I'm saying, like, come on, guys. Y'all crazy. Y'all go straight for the juggler. And you're not even in the Philippines, probably. Asking for the man to be deported. Come on, guys. Wow. I don't believe that. This is shocking to me. Hey, you got to send me that link. But it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me. I've seen worse. He said, Miss making comments makes me hungry. But here's the thing, okay? And I always have discussions, I love the channel, with people about this. He said, information overload from YouTube Philippines. And that's probably right. That would probably be right if YouTube was static. But it's not static. Okay, if I make a video just about the basic, something so basic that you wouldn't even click on it, you'd be like, I've seen so many videos about that. There's always new people coming into our genre, seeking information on the Philippines every single day. Do y'all realize how many people watch YouTube? It's bigger than Facebook. It's the biggest social media platform. People are steadily coming, and it's on a 28-day cycle. Okay, you might have a video that gets 1 million views. Well, hell, in 28 days, that's going to drop off. You better be able to replace that million, or your money and your view average and everything's going to go down. YouTube is not static. And we seem to think that YouTube is putting our videos out, that everybody is seeing the same video you're seeing. It's not. You're not. They're not. What's up, Mike? YouTube determines that. But no, it's really not overload. If it is, it's for people who've been. It's okay, bro. I accept your apology. I'm just saying, you got direct access to me, but you from the streets, man. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, I say, you see, here's what I'm going to tell you something. And this is pure facts. Some of these expats over here in the Philippines turning people in to immigration are acting like the people over in America turning people into ICE. It's the same thing, man. It's pitiful, though. These guys aren't committing those type of heinous crimes where you want to send them straight to the Bureau of Immigration and be deported. I can't. I just can't respect. I can't respect you when you do that, man. Okay. Yeah. Well, see, you're right, but for some reason YouTube allows it. They say, these reactionary channels, that's all they are. They're using somebody else's, and they're the big guys. These are the big ones who really get big money. And I don't understand it. They'll do a reaction to a video that you created. And they'll get more views and more money off the damn video than you. I would say, okay, it's okay. Give me a cut from that. They're not going to give you no cut from that, man. He said, let's be real. Some YouTubers are stealing content to make a buck and take all the credit. Yeah. Here. Mike. And I never understood that. How that's considered content. I mean, all the big vloggers, that's what they do. Not just in the Philippines, but everywhere. They, oh, wow. You got to be kidding me. That's not true. She forgave him and now she's endorsing his channel? Wow. Well, maybe there'll be a follow-up video. Yeah, this is facts right here. You better, that's one of the questions you need to ask your woman. Remember I said, hey, do you owe anybody any money? You need to ask her, do you gamble? Don't wait until after. But this guy needs to do some research on that Scatters game to understand how it works and understand how you'd have to be playing that thing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, no sleep or nothing to lose that kind of money on that little petty ass game. But we need a Filipino vlogger if you out there. If you listening, because I know y'all listening, you come on here and get content and go back and make it. Make a video on the Scatters game and what we need to look out for. Okay? Well, not always. Not always. Right now it is. And it's usually, remember, we're still in the rainy season. Weather like this usually comes, but some people like this weather. They can't deal with that heat all the time. Al41, he says, always overcast, cloudy, and miserable weather in the Philippines due to the constant Pacific Ocean weather front. It's not always like this. But I tell you, from late December to about mid-February, you're going to get weather like this. It's going to be in the 70s. Overcast, cloudy, and some people like that. I do too, because you get a break. This would be our winter, I guess. He says, Do you think it's fair that a Filipino can turn you into the authorities and you got to prove your innocence? I don't think it's fair. You know, I believe in due process. We've already talked about this. We talk about this all the time. People don't seem to think it's a serious matter, but it is. It's very serious over here. It's one of the things that's always going to be, it's like, why did you even tell me? Now I'm looking over my shoulders. It's one of those things that people don't know when you coming over here. That these false allegations carry a lot of weight. So once somebody tells you that, now you're afraid. You know, are they going to file false cases against me? Because you will go to jail depending on the allegation. There is no investigation. You're going to jail first. Then they build the case. If Merlin was to go there right now and say, hey, you know, he raped me. He forced himself on me without my permission. I'm going to jail. And I'm not going to have a bond. There's no bail. It's that easy. I told y'all a lesson that we all should learn and to read up on. Okay. Is this. The Scott McMahon case, guys. 6 months after the woman accused him of raping her. And she went to the authorities 6 months after the crime supposedly had happened. But he never touched her. He was 10 hours away at the time it's supposed to happen. But it was a revenge thing. Well, the police burst in his house, terrorized his son, looking for her husband. I guess they were friends. Well, he went and filed a case against her. Well, to retaliate, she filed a case against him. Rape, guys. No physical evidence, nothing. The man did 5 years in prison over here. It was over 4 years before he ever saw a judge. Then when he finally had his day in court, they threw it all out. There was no evidence. But then they hit him with, okay, you overstayed 5 years, sir. Even though he was in prison. But y'all won't even look at that stuff. You think it's never going to happen to me. You don't even know the women over here. You come right over here and jump in bed with them. You marry them. You have no idea what's going on. How stupid could you be? How could we be? But now that you know, there's no more excuses. They're not lying about that. We're not lying about that when you make the video. Hey, they're lying to you. No, we're not. Okay? You're guilty to proven innocent over here. There's no due process. There's no right to a speedy trial. There's no right to a bail. You have no right to the jury of your peers. You have none of that. Your ass is grass. He said, thanks for that super chat. Comedy Voice Speaks. He said, you have 194 viewers, but the same 10 are chatting here. Yep, they're observing you, brother. Hopefully they use the info for good. Yeah, see, y'all can see the stuff. Because, hey, what's up? Brent, hope you're feeling better today, brother. Send me that address. He said, good morning, Cal. What's your thoughts on Jim from Asia Adventures? I like Jim. I'm not going to lie. I did lose a little, well, not really. I ain't going to say I lost some respect for him for coming back because I guess he just didn't want that hanging over his head. But one thing I can say about Jim is that he's real. It doesn't matter what you think about him. The guy's telling you he's about as real as it gets. Excuse me, real recognizes real. He's not on here with the bullshit. Now, has he made himself look stupid by going to Cambodia and just talking down on the Philippines and then coming back to the Philippines and talking about how nice it is? Yeah. But I'm pretty sure that you can understand why he's doing that. He had his day in court. And now, because he's married here, And he's probably going to bring his wife eventually. He's talked about it before to America. So, he wants to make sure that door swings both ways. He can come back and forth. Okay. But I like Jim from the very first video I watched. That's what I told him. I've only commented on one of his videos, and that was it. I said, man, people are going to like you because you're real. Now, all that, going back and forth with the man, and all of that stuff that, how people do, talking bad about you and all that stuff. Yeah, and people, this is one thing, the one knock people got against him, but I can't understand because he's married over here. He's got monetary interests over here, and he probably just didn't want that hanging over his head. He probably knew, hey, it's not really that serious of a deal. Let me take care of it. And I believe he loves his wife. Honestly. You're not with a woman that long and do all that stuff for her that he's done. And I love him, man, That's why he left that girl. He had a nice looking woman over in Cambodia. Young girl. Sexy. Okay, but he threw her to the side and went back to his wife. Yeah, but no, I doubt that. I doubt it. It's too many channels. Which channels are they going to watch? He said the NBA is watching all expats. Do you realize not just the YouTube expats, but you know how many expats is over here? We talked about this earlier. There's 5.9 million international visitors to the Philippines. I would say 1 million of them are over here on a tourist visa. You tell me the NBA is watching 1 million expats? No, they're not. No. But it don't take as much now for somebody to call them up and get their attention about you with all that's going on, Greg. I will agree with you on that. Okay? I will agree with you on that. It don't take a lot now to get their attention. But no, it's impossible. They don't have the manpower. They don't have the resources. They don't have the technology. The only time they even know you here is when you go every 2 months to do that extension. Okay, there's no way. They don't have a system to watch all expats. They can't even watch all expat YouTubers. They've got other fish to fry, bigger fish to fry, guys. They're not sitting here. If they are, they're wasting their time. When they've got real criminals out there, they've got to hunt down, guys. Y'all made this out to be some type of circus. Yeah, people like to watch him, He said, Jim is just some dude for sure. He be wilding like crazy. But he doesn't do anything a dude his age and with his temperament wouldn't do back in America. I like him because he's not phony, man. And you don't see him talking about other people, trying to get them in trouble. These are the ones that burn me up over here. I don't even want to get into that, man. I don't even want to get into that, guys. You don't see him causing trouble, trying to get people deported and all that stuff. See, that's going overboard. Hell, Greg, they don't need to watch you. We already got the expat police over here. And the YouTube police. The pocket watchers. The dick watchers. They over here. How many girlfriends you got? How many babies you got over there? Are they drawing your Social Security? Watching your dick. Okay? It's too many of them. They don't need the NBA to watch us. But remember, you're not in America. We don't know what crime. Okay, first of all, we don't know the law over here, Thomas. He says that's crazy. He shouldn't have had to pay for being in jail for a crime he didn't commit. We don't know the law over here. We don't know what he was charged with. He's telling you today. And then what the penalties are. And then, of course, him being a foreigner, They're going to throw the book at you. Don't get in trouble over here. There's no way a Filipino's going to get hit with no 800,000 peso fine. Not the typical Filipina. Okay? The one thing I can tell you about Filipinos is it's a community over here. It doesn't take long for the police in San Carlos City to solve a crime because they know who's committing the crimes. It's the same when these people go in front of the jail, in front of the judge. The judge is not going to slap an 800,000 peso fine on them when he knows that, hell, they're earning 400 pesos a day. But Jim, they're going to hit him with that. She said, be smart, y'all. Always pick a good person. And you never have all kind of drama in the Philippines or anywhere. But we're in too much of a hurry over here. See, I see a woman's sexuality and a man's sexuality. Our libidos are different. According to the scientists and people who study this, a woman only wants sex 7 days a month. A man wants it 30 days a month. We're going by what we see. A woman give us a peekaboo, and we ready to jump on a plane and come 8,000 miles. We ain't gonna ask no questions or nothing. You know, do you got AIDS? No, I don't have it. You got it? No, I don't have it. Okay, let's get it on. It's just a total different ball game. Coming from a woman that really sounds intelligent. But we're not listening. We're not gonna listen to this. Yeah, I like Jim. He says, how much? He said, good brother. He said, I'm new to your channel. Hey, welcome. He says, how much should a person have saved to move there on a nice budget? Well, I don't know. I know most of the guys who live here, they either digital nomads, they're retired, and just to come here to live, man, you got to have a night. I mean, without working, without being retired, just to have, I couldn't tell you. You know, but we do talk about the budget. You know, Clayton, what do you like to do? We know that your rent's going to be low over here. Your utilities are going to be low. Your immigration is going to be low. But that's about where it ends. The food, when you go to that grocery store, it's like you shopping in America. And that's going to be a big part of your budget. You're going to have a woman, guys will say, oh, I'm not going to come up and be single and bullshit. She's going to take up most of your money. Is she going to be young? Is she going to be old? Does she have children? How many children she got? You're going to live in Metro Manila? You're going to live in San Carlos City? Do you like to go scuba diving, which is not cheap here? People think they're getting away with, oh, I'm coming there to scuba dive. Well, you better have your money together then, because it's not cheap. What do you like? Do you smoke? Do you drink? Do you skirt chase? You go out to bars? What do you do? Okay. What kind of lifestyle do you want to travel and see all this natural beauty over here? It's a lot of questions you have to answer yourself. But we were just talking about that. Is it possible to live on 1,000 a month? Absolutely it is. But what kind of life are you going to have over here? Yeah, but I don't believe that guy. I don't believe that guy. The second one. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Because a lot of times, though, the police, they'll do that because they stopped me before a couple of years ago. They do their rounds. They want to know where the foreigners are, but it wasn't because he was a YouTuber, the British guy. That's not why they did that. See, they had stopped John before. And I was like, well, they ain't stopped me, John. He said, yeah, they wanted a picture of me and my, his ACR card, where he lived, asking questions. Well, about 3 or 4 months later, they did me the same way. They want to know where you are. And if you're living in their community, man, a good police force is going to do that. But it's not because he was a YouTuber. Guys, there's too many YouTube channels over here, and we're not doing anything. If you only knew the crimes that were being committed over here, they wouldn't have time. They wouldn't have time to just focus on vloggers. Because that's one of the lies that they got on here. Vloggers are messing it up for everybody. Bullshit. Bullshit. Yeah, he's a good storyteller. He said, regular guy's a Trumpster, which he's from Canada. They just like Trump, but, you know, they just like him. They like his style. They like, you know, he is. I've heard him say some crazy stuff that made me, you know, step away from regular guy. Not about women and stuff, but about, you know, white supremacy and stuff like that. This kind of made me like, I never saw that out of him. But, you know, when you start drinking, it kind of bring out stuff in you. But, yeah, I like his storytelling. I think he got away from that. That was his niche. That was what he did better than everybody else. But some people don't understand the algorithm. They don't realize that, you know, what goes around comes around. It's eventually going to come back around to you. People be trying to change and everything, man. There's no way you could change and keep up with that algorithm. You can't do it. There's not enough time. So you're going to get away. That's why I didn't change. He said, I can't lie, Cal. Watching you makes my algorithm very crazy and starts to introduce me to a bunch of Philippine expats. Yeah, it's the same. When I looked at your channel, if I look at your channel just say enough for the algorithm to register, I don't know how long that takes. I believe it's like, 3 minutes or something like that, guys. It's less than that, really, but usually if I don't care what I'm watching, I could be watching a documentary and on anything, and it's interesting. Well, hell, the minute that I go back to search, all of that same genre comes up. Yeah, Jim went to jail, you know, he might have set that up. Because I don't think they would have handcuffed him like that. Because can you imagine, have you ever seen the police? Did you see the police, what do they call it, paddy wagon in America? It's wide open. You can just jump off and take off running. But then they'll probably shoot you. It is in America, but it's wide open. You're just sitting on a bench in the back of what looks like a box truck without the sides. You could jump out at any time. Yeah, I don't think Jim is as dumb as people. He's crazy as a fox, maybe. You know. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, this is it. This is a good analogy. I love the channel, what I'm saying. He says, men are spontaneous. That's the difference. It is. Yeah. Thank you, Frank. This is what we go by, what we see. A woman goes by what she hears. That peekaboo has cost a lot of men their life savings, guys. Don't let them do it, because you're going to be, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be on the first train smoking to the Philippines when you start that peekaboo. Okay? That's one of their strategies to get your ass over here faster than what you plan. Okay? Let a 22-year-old take off her top. Okay? And then the bottom. And you over there, you got 20 years worth of nut release building up inside of your balls. Okay? you coming over here. On the first train smoking. I promise you that. You're damn right the girlfriend is high. This is why these guys who do this so stupid budget videos, they lying. Because they're not putting how much they spending on the woman. Okay, if you spending $1,200 a month on yourself, how much you spending on her and her kids? 4 times a week. Now, I'm not speaking for myself. I'm just saying, you know, biology. I'm glad. She said, speak for yourself, Cal. I still love it 3 to 4 times a week. Wow. I bet there's some out there that like me. Absolutely. But that's not enough for me. You'd have to want it every day. Because see, those other 3 days we're gonna bump heads, Icy. Okay. Remember, if you like it 3 to 4 times a week, then that's only, just say 4 times a week. That's 16 days. What I'm gonna do the other 14 days? I don't know. I don't really think I don't think he's really done anything. Will they question him? Yeah, but I don't think Scotty's really done anything. If he does, he doesn't show it to you. You know. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. Most expats aren't even on YouTube. But the regular guy really hasn't done anything. Y'all got to understand, these guys are jealous of him, man. You know. No, 3 to 4 times. No. What you heard was biologists say that the average woman wants sex 7 times per month. So that would be to say 2 times a week, where the average man wants it every day of the month. This is where the problem comes. The 3 causes of divorce separation. Not in this order, but the 3 causes: money, sex, and a third party. The third party doesn't have to be another woman or man. It could be allowing other people into your marriage, telling your business. You know, talking to people about what's going on in your household. That's the top 3 reasons. Okay, I'm sorry. But you bet. That's why a lot of guys end up with younger women over here. Not because they're pedophiles or something. It's because a man's libido and a woman's libido is different. We've got something called testosterone that women don't have, or they have such very little quantities of it. We want it. We're the hunter. Okay, and you get with an old Sally, you know, that's why I tell guys, be careful. You bringing that matrix thinking over here. You're 60, you want a woman 55. You better know what you getting. Yeah, it's true though. Yeah, they want it every day. Yeah, well, this community, believe it or not, it's a whole different conversation going on, expat, in the comments that I'm not even be talking about. He said, this is a good stream, lots of good content in this one, Cal. Community has been boring. This is the best live stream going. Nice to hear some truths and facts. Yeah, we got a good live stream going. It's always going over here on the side. Usually led by Michael Beach of Life, TJ, Cisco, Thomas Marshall, and those guys like that. He said police body camera videos in the Philippines would be content. Oh, man. That would be hilarious. He said, I'm thankful for the UNC's algorithm I found with D. Her alone got me wanting to come there. Yeah, but W Secret to Success said she made a video the other day that she's engaged. He told me, he said, hey, you know that guy that's on your channel that's infatuated with D, he's going to have his heart broke because she's engaged to a foreigner who's probably behind her content. Probably. He says, people don't know, but Philippine police are the assassins. They literally are used to doing hits. Well, not all of them. You know, you got to understand, man, there's always going to be crooks everywhere. And then if they feel they're not getting paid enough money, that's why they're trying to raise the pay of police in America. So they don't do the crooked stuff that a lot of them do. Stealing the drug money and the drugs, putting it back on the street, killing people. Okay, just because the court doesn't find you guilty doesn't mean you're not a killer. Yeah, but they know that. They know that. It is. It's the beginning of the end for a lot of people. I love LeChon. He said that's an expensive peekaboo. It's the beginning of the end and Filipinos know it. They know it. Yeah, welcome to the chat. Yeah, you know, that's what I'm saying. You've been following me for a while, man, you know, but people get on here and they want to do a drive-by, you know. They want to be content stars. Now that I, reminded y'all of that, go in any vlogger, any channel's comments, and you're going to see people want to show you they're the smartest person in the room. And this is where they get their attention, in the comments. Because nobody's listening to them at home. Nobody's listening to them on the job. They can't get attention anywhere else, so they go in your comment section. And they become these superstars, content superstars, comment superstars, brother. Man, they got some of the best peekaboo in the world. He said, my hands are sick of me, and I'm sick of them. Yeah, your hands are going to call, your dick's going to call 911 on your damn hand. The minute that sees your hand, it's going to shrivel up and go back down in the skin or wherever. Yeah, he's just saying he's infatuated with her, though, but she's you know, a woman like that is going to be taken. And then when you see it's boring when you see their content because they got so much more to offer. When you see their titles, you know there's a foreigner behind it. The unicorn, one of hers is like, Filipino unicorn, something, you know what I'm saying. When you see, these aren't Filipino titles. Do the video on the scatter. It's a lot of stuff over here culturally that we can't do. Okay? He said, yeah, Rashard, she's good looking and has great English. That's a combo that gets the armchair bros to open up that wallet. Absolutely. And somebody was talking about that. I think Richie Richardson was talking about that. But, you know, it's old. You know, the skin that women are showing, man, they've been doing that. The thirst trapping and all that stuff. You know. I remember when, man, it's not that much of it anymore, but during the lockdowns, when the Philippines wasn't open, it's some comical stuff if you go back and watch it. I mean, there was one channel, I believe she was called The Short Girl, the Philippines or something. The Short Girl in Mindanao or whatever it was, right? Every video of hers, there was really no, conversation. It was just her and 3 or 4 of her friends splashing around in the ocean in bikinis. That's all it was. Yeah, but she, there's 1,000 of her over here, Richie Rich. You know that. My thing is, Filipino, see, this is something you could talk to Chang about doing. That scatters game. See, Merlin was too afraid she won't really get on the camera and talk. But Chang has already shown that she's not afraid to talk. Well, I'm pretty sure she knows about that game. That scatter game that some guy, his girlfriends, they made the video. It's almost impossible to lose that kind of money in 1 month on that game. But if he believes it, then I got to believe it. I just think that she spent that money on something else. Yeah, all that, yeah. I mean, but it was comical, man. And after a while, even the thirsty guys got tired of that. They're like, we want more. We always want that. Girls going to sleep on the live stream. Or they'll walk out of the bathroom with the towel around them. That was crazy. And I'm talking about now when you look at those channels, there's nothing there. People might go by and peek and see what they're doing, but they don't stay long. They don't stay long, guys. They had a good thing and messed it up. Well, it's basically all the dating sites are. But a lot of, you can take the woman out of the bar. You can't take the bar out of the woman. A lot of them women, they could easily change their life. All they have to do is get on the dating site. A lot of them are nice looking. The man would never know they were a bar girl. But a lot of them, it's just in them. It's just in them to do that now. They don't see no other way. They probably don't want a real husband or with a foreign husband. To them, that's easy money laying on their back. I'm not going to knock them. Well, the truth, I think they just got what they wanted. And they were gone. 2 of them got married. I have live-in boyfriends. Probably all of them. But YouTube is not easy. Okay? Some people just have no, shame. And they'll just throw out anything out there for people to watch. Some people really want to put content out there. And when you do that, thought-provoking content, it's not easy. We make it look easy. It's not easy. Ask Richie Rich, is it easy? He says, if you don't give the people what they want, entertainment, information, eventually the audience will leave and find another channel. Yeah, and this is what I was saying earlier about if you're a YouTuber like me, and I talk in the comments with people, in my WhatsApp, in my Messenger, my email, then I meet people in person, you kind of get an idea of what they're looking for. Usually the same thing you're looking for. If you find it interesting, they're going to find it interesting. If you're a YouTuber and you really want to stick around and gain some traction, you got to talk about relationships, age gap relationships, dating. You got to talk about marrying the family. Does she really want me for my money? A budget, the girlfriend experience. And if you share your experiences like I do, people are going to relate to it. But if you're sitting up there coming up with topics that are dry, the title gets their attention, but you're not really talking about anything. You're afraid to really talk about this stuff. Nobody's going to come back. They're not going to come back. That's why when I try to help people, I say, look, I'll send them your way, but I can't make them keep coming back. Your content is going to do that. People, men want to know. I don't care if it's a million videos on YouTube right now about dating, he's got relationships. They want to know, can I get a woman over there? If you can convince them and make it interesting enough, okay, it doesn't even have to be from a new perspective, Rich. We're giving the audience too much credit because there is no new perspective. The only new perspective is yours. Okay, when I told y'all, it's the truth. When I met the girl and she said, you can do whatever you want to me, that's a true story. Who else is going to tell you that? They're afraid? They're thinking, oh, Cal, he's taking advantage of women. No, I'm not. That's what the woman told me. She said, you can do to me whatever you want to do to me. Okay? And when you tell your story, it is a new perspective. But there's only so many ways to talk about this stuff. But we don't want to, we're so afraid because y'all afraid of the boogeyman out there. I'm not. I took the ass kicking so y'all don't have to. I don't care what they say about me. Y'all afraid of them people coming after you. Well, who are they? They're doing the same thing that they're accusing you of doing. But they distract you by talking about somebody else and keeping the attention off of themselves. I don't know. I don't like to use that word subservient. If you come over here, this is a matriarchal society. Okay? The Filipinos run just about everything over here, including their households. Do you realize right now in 2026, when a man goes out and work, he brings his check home and gives it to the woman, Greg? Does that sound subservient to you? Respect would be a way, would probably be the best way. But now, long before this, he said the Philippines has had foreigners in military since the 40s. No, man, way before that. Remember we fought the Spanish, and then in 1899, it was the Filipino-American War. We've been over here since at least 1899. Yeah, there is only your perspective. That's what I'm saying. There is nothing new. We done it. We done it all. People forget. Yeah, there is no. You don't have to spin it around. People just want to hear about it. It's the only reason why this stuff is so popular. They like it. Do you realize how much? I'm pretty sure you know, Rich. How much money these channels generate over here? These Filipino channels that people claim that they so tired of. Oh, I got Filipino fatigue, Q said early today. No, you don't. You watch these damn videos every chance you get. I had no idea the Philippines was this popular, man. I did not know it when I started my channel. I was just trying to get that $100 that they owe me. I never knew. Okay? Yeah, it's because later on, she was just asking all the time. I mean, it was always something. I mean, and then when you realize all there's other options, then I met my son's mother, who wasn't asking for anything, which is a whole other story. She didn't have to ask. She knew I was going to spend. This one wouldn't even give me a chance to pull the money. She's pulling the money out of my pocket. Those are the ones you don't want to deal with. She was nice. Look, we're still friends to this day. Let's see, okay, it was 2000. So she's 30. She'll be 35 in July. Okay? We're still friends, though, on Facebook and stuff. She's got to live in and has 2 kids. But she just asked too much. And then when we split up, the family knew something was up. The brother, because I got close to the little brother. He lives in Cebu now. Every now and then I send him something. Um, he apologized to me for her behavior. I mean, she was always asking for something, man. You could give her something, man, and then the next day she's asking for something. And this is way back in 2009. I was like, no, something ain't right here. I'm sorry. He says, have you heard from Miss Wing lately? I think the last video I saw, she was interviewing some man. I believe it was a black guy she was interviewing. I don't think she does as much. She's probably got somebody, man. You know, these women, we love Filipinos. We don't care how many kids they got. We don't care what they look like. The world is in love with Filipino women. And, you know, it's not hard for them to find somebody to change their life. And she's not a bad looking woman. I met them when they started out, man. I've been on YouTube, you know, it seems like an eternity, almost 6 years, but I remember when they first started. I interviewed them. They had no followers, no subscribers, or nothing. They were at a meet and greet in Dumaguete. People was not looking at them. They came there. Mike Philippine, that's the first and only time I met him. And I really didn't meet him. He bought them from Cebu to Dumaguete to that meet and greet so that they could, he was trying to help them build their channels. They wanted to get some interviews with some of the big guys, you know, Paul and Mark Thornton and them, but nobody gave them any attention. So I'm sitting with Gerard, black in the Philippines. We're eating a pizza because he interviewed me. And I looked at them, they looking so sad. And I was like, okay, I'll interview y'all. I didn't want y'all to come out this whole way. Because I asked them, I said, did you get any interviews? And no, nobody would talk to us, she said. So I gave them the interview. Well, after the interview was over with, we're all walking outside, and here comes Mike Philippine Retirement. You know Mike in Dumaguete, him and Janet. And he says, he just said this so crazy to me. This is why he rubbed me the wrong way when he said this. Because I'm not thinking about him. He said, yeah, I know who you are, but I don't watch your channel. That's exactly how he said it. I didn't say, hey, how you doing? I didn't say, hi, bye, kiss my ass or nothing. He just walked up and said, yeah, I know who you are, but I don't watch your channel. And that did it for me with him. I'm like, well, damn, dude. My name is Calvin, by the way. But I remember when they started out, they're not bad looking women. So, yeah, he said that. He said that. He said that. Oh, yeah, this is culture, though. But what I'm saying is, you said subservient. I'm telling you, who sounds subservient, if you go out and work your fingers to the bone like they do, and you bring in that check home, man, I'll tell you one thing about the situation here. And I'm just telling you from what I'm seeing, living and experiencing. They are henpecked, these men over here. Okay, not all of them, but I'm talking about the ones I see. Shit. They better not, man, don't you know okay, this is the stories I've gotten. When I was married to my Filipino wife, her father had better been home at a certain time, certainly on payday. If he wasn't, the mother's going out looking for him. She'll go in the bar, wherever he is, drag his ass out, tear up his clothes, and then stay up late at night sewing them back together. This is facts. Hey, Hal 9000, thanks for that super sticker. You know, I would use, in my culture, we would call that respect. You know, like I said, there's clear, defined lines over here. You know, the man is the man of the house, but the Filipino runs it, man. She runs everything over here. If the kids, schoolwork, she helps them with that. She pays the bills. You better bring that check home when you get paid, or she's coming out there looking for you. Go to the bank. The Filipinos run in the bank. Everywhere you go, they in charge, man. Yeah, he said social media celebrity is big here in the Philippines. One of the highest rate of social media users. Yeah, they look at you like you really are a celebrity. Yeah, that was the motivation at that time. When I think back on it, it was funny, man, because you don't see it anymore. Because people can come over here now. But that was the whole theme. And those channels were getting big. They were blowing up. Yeah, they're getting paid in pesos because it goes to, well, I don't know really. I would say if they've got a Filipino bank and you Google or whatever, I really don't know. I don't know. He says he knows they're getting paid in pesos. I don't know. But I think, Greg, that they even convert that. They're going to convert that. Except in your PayPal. But yeah, there was an overriding theme back then. I do celebrate every time. It's usually somewhere around July, August. But that's why I do the live streams. That's why I do the meet and greets when I can. This next meet and greet, and this is real. When we come back, it's gonna be sometime in March, but it'll be here in San Carlos City. Yeah, yeah. Well, we and then when people try to say vloggers mess it up for everybody, no, we all did because we're all watching these channels, Thomas, and when the whole world is telling you how good looking you are, you start believing it. Women here are vain, man. They're very vain. If your woman ain't in the mirror all day, then you probably ain't got a full-blooded Filipina. But when the whole world tells you how good looking you are, that's why a lot of them make the mistake of thinking they can throw you back and there's somebody better in there. Now, there's no bigger, better deal for them. For us, it might be. But really, if you got a good woman over here, it's as good as it gets. All you're going to do is change the face. You might change the age. That's all you're doing. And you're starting over. You're starting that calculator over. But when you get a good woman, here's about as good as it gets. But them, they don't get no bigger, better deal. Yeah, that's why they come after me. But they're hypocrites. And they don't like me because I'm telling their story. Because their story is my story for real. He said the other experts, when I tell the truth, they censor their own thoughts. That's why Cal gets into trouble, but the other snakes, they don't get attacked. Yeah, because they don't want you telling their story. Okay? Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you, Icy. It's not hard, really, to have a YouTube channel. If you're going to be real with yourself. We try to recreate the wheel. You know, like Richie Rich said, there is no new. He said if you come to it with a new perspective, we're giving our audience too much credit. You don't have to do that. We're just down to earth guys. We basically want the same thing in the fourth quarter. We want a cooperative woman. We want lower bills. We want to be respected, appreciated, and, leave us alone. But people try to reinvent the wheel and it goes over people's heads. They don't want that. They want the nitty gritty. They want it the straight. They don't want no chaser. They don't want no chaser. They want it straight. And when you say stuff like, yes, she told me I can do whatever she wants to me. When you say stuff like, oh, the Filipino tune up with a free oil change and lube job, they know what you're talking about. It's not being disrespectful. I'm just telling my story. In the only way I know how. You know, when you see those videos, I can't make them. You know, we don't need those type of videos from Filipinas talking about, oh, how big of a banana you need and all that. We don't need that stuff, man. That doesn't show any class at all. That's exploiting the women. What we need is something about the scatter, you know, and tell us really what goes on in the household over here and what we need to look out for. Stuff that they can only tell us. They're telling us stuff that I can tell you. Well, you don't need that. She's wasting her time, really. They do have a new perspective. Rich, they got a new perspective, but they just won't use it. It's not in them to use it. That's why the Philippine channels that you see that have gained some traction, there's a foreigner in that mix somewhere. Because it's not in them to do it. You're not going to jump in the deep end of the swimming pool if you don't know how to swim. They're not going to go against their thinking. Filipino P, Rebeauty, with D coming up, Smart Girl Philippines. When you see these channels that have reached a certain level, there's a foreigner somewhere in there. That's why when you see, you can't go by numbers because Maya, Geo's ex, has got big numbers. She's got over 40,000, but she's not talking about nothing that's going to keep you around. What's keeping you around is you looking at that exterior. She's not telling you anything else. She's talking about mistakes men make dating Filipinos. Why Filipinos, not just her, but this is what they'll do. Oh, why Filipinos really like old foreigners? For their money, lady, just say it. But they'll come up with some other crazy stuff. Oh, because he's more mature, blah, blah, bullshit. You're lying. Now you're lying. He said, it may not seem like it, but Chang makes the majority of the decisions in our relationship. I just suggest and she just decides how we're going to move. You know, it's a matriarchal society. If you want to get along with any woman, certainly over here, man, you got to give her some type of, you can't treat the woman like he used the word subservient. They're not going to want to stick around you if you're going to treat them like that. You have to make her feel like, like she's important, that her decisions are important. I mean, without, just being, laying down, letting the woman walk over top of you. You got to value her input. Yeah, see, this is what happens when we have the meet and greet. Filipinos, they don't meet strangers. You've been to so many meet and greets, Mike. You see how it is. Those women come together like they've been knowing each other for years. They just met that day. And this is what she's going to do to you with the girlfriend experience. When you meet her for the first time at the airport, she's going to start acting like y'all been together for years. And you just met. It's going to put you at ease. And then you meet and you'll get the understanding that look like, okay, honey. And then you'll, okay, all right, I got you. And it starts from there. And it's just something that you have to experience it to know what I'm talking about. Yeah. I'm just saying that it's a lot of those channels, they'll have their chance. Like the guy said, what happened to the True Girls? They had their chance, but if you can't grab that opportunity when it's there, you're done. They had their chance. And it's the same thing with them. If you don't have something, see, I can give Rebeauty credit. She's starting to really talk about different stuff. Okay, besides dating and stuff all the time. She talks about some of the frustration she has with her own country. That's interesting to me. This is really what we need more about because we don't know anything about the Philippines. It's kind of boring when you got a Filipina that's 20-something years old, 30, trying to advise me, I'm 62 and retired, Lady, you can't. What can you tell me about being retired as a 62-year-old man? Nothing. Yeah, them damn Filipinos, man. When I first came over here, I had so many of them, I gave them away. It's heavy. Okay, you imagine 1 peso. They've got a they've got a 5 centavos over here. That little bitty thing. It takes 20 of them, but they got 1 centavos. It takes 100 of them, guys. Listen to this. If you want to know the difference in culture, this isn't a penny. A peso would be considered a penny, I guess. They've got a centavo, meaning it takes 100 of them just to make 1 peso, and they'll give it to you. They got the 1, 5, the 10, and the 25. Oh yeah, no. They're not hip to the game. They're just mimicking what they're seeing us doing, which is smart, really. Okay, it wasn't okay. If you see all these Filipino channels now, he said, Cal, I have to push back on that only because these Filipino channels on YouTube have access to other content, so they know what sells. They're hip to the game. Yeah, they got hip from us during uh the lockdowns when they saw these channels like mine and others, getting all this traction, which of course getting views, which translates into dollars. They're saying, "Oh, I can do that," and they start doing it. But they imitated us 100%. They didn't try to use their own creativity. They start talking about the same things we were talking about. How can a Filipina talk to you about cost of living in the Philippines when her cost of living is totally different than yours? She has no experience there, guys, unless she's been with a foreigner for so many years. How can she talk to you about your cost of living? And then it's not her money, it's his money. This is where they go down the wrong track. This is where they fall off the beam with me. I'm like, lady, I can't sit there and watch you talk about a cost of living for me over here. You have no experience with that. They're not going to do this over here. They're not going to raise their voice. He said, I want a woman that didn't raise her voice at me. I don't like an alpha female. They're not going to do that here. But they'll control you in a different way. Okay? But don't ever get it twisted. Eventually, you and her are always going to be wrestling for control in the relationship. Filipinos, they want the control, man, over here. All right, so what you need to do is at least let her think she's in control. We're good at that. We're older, man. We've got a lot of tricks that we can do. That's why when you look at these guys, man, you got to look a little deeper. She's not really, he's smiling like a Cheshire cat, really. He's crazy as a fox. He's not a fool for real. These guys aren't as dumb as what we make them out to be. Some of them are, but the majority of them aren't. They're like, okay, I'm in my fourth quarter. I don't want, okay, you want to be in charge? Okay, I'm going to let you be in charge, And they wink at you. Yeah, she's in charge. She makes all the decisions. Okay? Not for real. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's that 1 centavo, which would drive you crazy. The very first time I came over, I promise you, I had a rubber, what do you call that? Rubbermaid thing, full of that stuff. Oh, they're a big nuisance, man. Yeah, he says I'm working on Travel Channel. It's gonna be big. I'm just trying to get the legal stuff taken care of. I wish you luck, man. You're gonna have to, but you're gonna have to reach a whole different audience. Yeah, they still have that hole in there. Yeah, Double Trouble and They just have so much more to offer, and they just don't give it to us. I don't think they really. I don't think they really know how. But if anybody has any more information, I can't believe that that woman and that man is back together. I can, but I can't. Not that quick. But I know they're a couple, and I knew there's a foreigner behind it. Lady, how you getting back and forth to all those places? You're skipping from Clark to Cebu to Dumaguete to all over Manila, Metro Manila, finding these foreigners. Yeah, there's the Discord, guys. He says, can you tell me about the restaurant culture there? I'm curious about how tipping works. Most of the nice restaurants are going to have that service charge already included, the Bison returns. Okay, all the other smaller restaurants, I usually just give them 10% really, or 100 pesos. Because depending on where you are, that 100 pesos could be their salary for that whole day. But usually, if you go to somewhere like TGI Fridays, Chili's, what other one? I was going to say Applebee's. That's another one. Yeah, TGI Fridays. They're already going to have that service charge in there. It'll be on the receipt. And a lot of times, you know, what you're going to see over here is, it's not like in America where they're at your beck and call, the waiter, because their salary depends on that tip. Over here it really does. They're not really even looking for it because they'll serve you your food and forget all about you. They're not going to come back and say, hey, you need more water. How's your food? You want dessert? Very seldom will that happen. So it's like, I give them a tip because I know that they're not earning a whole lot. You know, I give a tip every single time, whether I think they deserve it or not. But that's usually how it works. But in the nicer places, they're already going to have the tip added on. But it doesn't matter. It's going to take a certain type of restaurant. Like if they're trained in the Western way, like if you go to Texas Roadhouse, is what I meant to say. If you just go like this, they're going to see you. They're over there. You don't even have to say nothing. They're going to come a couple of times and, hey, you know. But even then, sometimes they lose touch with you. And you're just sitting over there and you really have to say, hey, can I get, you know, because they'll have like the bottomless iced tea. And they only serve you one time. But that's usually how that works over here. Yeah, he said they get control without ever raising a voice or be ready. He said whoever controls the money is in charge. Yeah, but you got to realize that some men, they let it appear that the woman's in charge. You know, you don't have to keep your foot on the woman's neck, Frank. I mean, you know what I'm saying. Remember, try a little tenderness. Let her, you know, at least feel like, you know, she's important, like she's part of the relationship. I mean, I don't get it. This is why we bringing this Western stuff over here. Like, they're already down. Why you want to kick them when they down? We know she don't have no money. Okay, at all. But she's got something that you want. We know that. But that's not how it works over here. If you really want to hit that home run, okay, if you want to hit the home run, you got to make it look like she's winning sometime. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We know how to do that, Richie Rich. We're not stupid. But people like Frank, they want to, if the woman's already down, they want to just push her all the way into the ground. Yeah, you ain't got no money, you ain't got nothing, just sit there and shut up. You know, Let me run everything when you don't know nothing over here. She knows what you need to know over here. So give her some importance in the relationship. And then what's going to happen, you're going to eventually hand over the steering wheel to her anyway. Once she whips you, if you got the right one, she going to whip you. You're going to eventually fall in love, lust, or something. Okay, then you're going to be at her mercy. You always tip. You're going to be at her mercy. And that's crazy. Yeah, I do. I always do. But it's unexpected. They don't expect it. It's not in them to expect it. You don't have to, because they're not expected. We tip over there. They say, what is it, 17% or something in America, but they expect you to tip. But a lot of times they're going to earn that tip. You know, I've had waiters that just sit right, within my reach, just sitting there waiting for the water to go down and pour the water. You know what I'm saying? They see your plate empty, they swooping the plate up. They don't do that here. You will sit there through your whole dinner with dirty plates all around you. Like, hey, can you come and get my plate? It's just not, the culture there. You sit there half eating food on you. I'm done. Remove my plate. But, it's just how it is. So, yeah. Yeah. But she made it out. She was mad. See, that's why they say don't make videos when you're mad. And then, Asia now, he just jumped on her side like, okay, you're telling the truth. He ain't trying to get the man side. He done started which is good. He started a GoFundMe. Now they're looking at him like, okay, what happened? Where's our GoFundMe money? Without knowing all the facts, because I don't know, certain people over here, vloggers, they probably know more about relationships than others. Some people just looking and seeing what people do in a relationship without experiencing it. When I saw him interviewing that girl and he says, hey, well, where'd you meet the man? And she said the dating site. I knew then and there the rest of the story. Remember that Paul, now the rest of the story. There was no taking her side. They done broke up. They, beefing now. They're mad at each other. Because he even showed a clip where the man says, well, now you're not going to get anything. Because she done probably threatened him. But he's saying, report him to Bureau of Immigration. I'm like, why do y'all go straight for the jugular like that? That's all I'm saying. I mean, foreigners, we don't have each other's back over here. That's why I try to tell y'all about the Filipino mafia. I don't know how they treat each other here. They'll say they got the crab in the bucket mentality. When they get over in America, they got each other's back. We don't have each other. We don't have no backs over here. Hey, Nelson, he said, greetings, Cal. New to your channel. Nelson, New York City. Welcome, brother, to the chat. Yeah, I'm tipping too. This is how I am, Rich. I'm always tipping too. But I knew that, but it's scary now that, he just took her side 100%, started a GoFundMe, which I applaud him for that. But now it's like, okay, they back together. What are you going to do with the money? Are you going to donate it or what? See? I don't know, man. But I'm not going to try to get me and him, I've talked we used to talk pretty regular. He stayed in the guest house, but I already told him this a long time ago. See, he's got a different goals, obviously, than me. He wants to grow this big, gigantic channel, and I tried to tell him. I told him we were in Sapaway. It's just in between me interviewing them and them interviewing me. I said, look, guy, the Philippines is the star. The Philippines is the content. You're not the star. They don't want to hear nothing you got to say. Because he was on his way to India then. Because India has all 1 billion people. He's thinking, oh, I'm going to blow up my channel. It was crickets, man. And he goes all these other places. The Philippines is what blew your channel up. See, when I met him, he recognized me. I didn't know him from Adam. We're in IT Park at the coffee place, and he walks around. He says, oh, aren't you Sunshine Shoulders? Not realizing he already got it in his mind how he's going to get more exposure and everything like that. I don't think like that. He only had like 3,000 subscribers, guys. I had like 20,000 at the time. I never forget it. And the next thing you know, he shot past me, but I tried to tell him, I said, it's not about who's delivering the information. It's the information. They want to hear about the Philippines. So he knows that now. He's learned that lesson. But I tried to tell him that years ago. A lot of people don't. If you cut your teeth on the Philippines, then you're going to basically, you better keep talking about the Philippines. Ask Geo about it. Okay? Trying to go to Thailand, people are going to look at you like, we're not interested in Thailand. We want to hear about the Philippines. So Geo still has to talk about the Philippines. If you look at his videos, you'll see the ones that get the most views since he moved out of the Philippines. When he talks about the Philippines, nobody in this genre wants to hear about Nairobi, even though it's the same Geo. He's got the same delivery. He creates the same good content. Nobody in this genre wants to hear about that. He doesn't have a following in Nairobi. Okay? And then you hear other people using that about, oh, the Philippines is a star. Then they try to act like they created that. Fool, you came after me. You heard me say it. You used to be right on my live stream, but it's the truth. Whoever made it up. If I go somewhere else, guys, my channel's not going to be the same. Can I get passionate about someplace else? Probably. But my views and everything's going to go down. Because I know they're following the Philippines. Not following me. So that's why wherever Alex and Geo and all these other people are, no matter where they go, their content is always going to be centered around the Philippines. That's where their money's coming from. It doesn't come from talking about that other stuff. But if they want to believe that, go ahead. Yeah, Nairobi. Nobody over here wants to. It's not interested in that. He said Kenya's on my bucket list. But Geo ain't going to be the one. That's right. You're going to go in there and see somebody else who's been over there for years. But Geo's always going to be affiliated with the Philippines. Okay? He said Geo went to Africa. Yeah, we're not interested in Africa. Yeah, unless he returns soon, he can say goodbye to his channel. You know, Geo's smart, though. He's been in, creating content for a long time. He knows what to do. So you see the last video he made is the provider trap. He's talking about over here. He's not stupid now. He knows that no matter what. Okay, that's why, most trolls, have you ever seen trolls that are even more popular than the trolls in the Philippines? Okay, even the trolls over here are more popular than trolls anywhere else. Crazy. Because they love the Philippines. They want as much information on the Philippines as they can. Well, I'm going to get passionate wherever I go, but, the Philippines is just so popular, man. I mean, if you start a channel over here, you're getting a leg up already. You're getting a push already. Yeah. I mean, some people do that. But he did it like I can I can say that he didn't. He did it with a little class. He called it a death by 1,000 cuts. Gio's not stupid. He's coming back here, guys. Eventually, okay. That's all I'm saying. But he can't compete with the guys in Thailand because, okay, say for instance like Chocolate Man in Thailand. Gio can't compete with him because even though Chocolate Man used to live in the Philippines, he's been living in Thailand for a long time. People connect, at least it's certainly Patia, with him. So it'd be like me trying to go and nudge my way in there. It's like, well, what can I tell them about Thailand? And what can I show them about Thailand that he hasn't shown you? And you got people over there, if you want to succeed in Thailand, a lot of times what you have to do is you got to drag a woman around with you, really. That's when Chocolate Man in Thailand was at his biggest over there. When he was with that lady. We just want to see the women. Now, I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever go to Africa, though. It's just, when you have a daughter, when you have children, minor children, it limits your travel. I want to be gone longer than 2 weeks to Vietnam, but I don't have a choice. I got a 5-year-old daughter over here. I wouldn't say dishonesty. I just say that, they can move the way they want to. He said a lot of dishonesty going on from these expats wanting the Philippines YouTube income, but not wanting to live in the Philippines. They can move in as they want to, but they've gotten smart. They know that if they want to continue their check coming, they better keep their hand on the pulse of the Philippines. Otherwise, they're going to be in trouble. They're going to lose their following. That's all I'm saying. He said, he said, I think a lot of these dudes be delta deep in their feelings during these breakups and extend their dislike of their partner to the entire country. But the thing is, the only thing I can't respect people for doing is leaving the country and making a video like that. Make it while you're here. They know they can't do it. They'll catch all kind of hell. So they're smart for doing that, but I can't have any respect for you when you do that. No matter how you present it. You got to be real. See, that's when you're being fake. But I can't tell people what vlogs to make, what content to make. They're going to make what what they feel is good. Well, she's just not going to be around. He said, cut my money out. Cut the money off. She was not the sweet woman. She vanished. Well, that's why they all with us. Okay, now, she may convince you later on, after you grow on each other, that it's more than money, but it starts and ends with that money. That's the only reason she's on that dating site. She wants a new life that only you can give her. She don't like the life she's got right now. The hand she was dealt, she wants a new deck of cards. Okay? And as long as you giving that to her, you don't have to worry about it. I'm talking about just the women on the dating site, which is only a small percentage of the women over here. Because the ones that aren't on that dating site who don't need you to do all that for them, aren't looking for you to do that, they're not looking at you. Why would they? I don't understand what you're talking about. I don't pocket watch, though. I don't pocket watch. He says the viewers here, Cal, they don't understand how much money these YouTubers are earning, but they're earning it though. And they shouldn't be worried about that. This is where the problem comes from, Expat Crowd. He says, I know Scott's bottom line is 700 per week, but he has weeks where he gets 1,500. I think he put that information out there, but this is where people cross the line. Okay, even if he's earning that kind of money, you realize that people earn millions on YouTube, that people don't seem to be worried about, Expat Crowd. I mean, they literally earn millions of dollars every year on YouTube. You never heard of them before. It's not iSpeed, it's not Mr. Beast, but you don't have access to them. You see a guy over here that may be earning 5,000 US dollars per month, and y'all hate him for that. But he's earning it. He's putting the content out. You know, he's doing the live streams. I mean, YouTube, for anybody who says that they don't need the money or they don't want it, it's because they're not earning that kind of money. I have not seen anybody donating their check over here to charity. The ones who got traction. That's bullshit, man. You're on YouTube to try to earn money. If you are, you're one of the very small percentage of people who do. You should consider that an honor. You don't run from it, but this is where y'all cross the line when y'all start worrying about how much money people are earning. This is where the trouble and the jealousy and the hate and all of that comes from. Okay? They don't like that man because, you know, he's fairly young. He's traveling around the Philippines. They know he's got women, you know, and he's earning his money off YouTube. Okay? Something that they either cannot do or won't do, and they hate him for it. Hey, the Bison returns. Thanks for that super chat. He said, thanks for sharing your lived experience and perspective on the Philippines. I enjoy your channel. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And that's really all I'm doing. That's my perspective. That's the new perspective that I've got. But when people start worrying about how much money you're earning, that's when they crossing the line, man. They start hating you. He said, Cal, did you say when the next meet and greet is? It's going to be in March. I'll let you know once I get back from Vietnam. Yeah, but those guys, you don't never know, okay, what they're earning from sponsors, if he's got sponsorships and stuff like that. But guys are earning just tremendous amounts of money on YouTube. But you don't have access to them. Y'all know us. You see us every day. You come and eat with us. We go out together. And I guess that's what it is. And, you know, a lot of people are still working. And they see these young guys over here in these foreign countries, these tropical countries. They got beautiful women. They traveling all around, having a good time. And you're resentful for that when you shouldn't be. He said, as long as you're talking about yourself and your life, the content shouldn't be as hard. And this is what people don't want to do, though. What they want to do is create these topics, these dry-ass topics that they really don't know anything about, and they got to force themselves to talk about, and it comes out like that. It comes out dry, and people won't watch it. But if you talk about your life and what you've been through, you don't need a script. People be like, how can you sit up in front of the video and just talk like you do? Because it's in my life. It's what I've already experienced. I don't need to write it down. I don't need a script. You don't forget what you've done, what you've actually done. But when you start talking about, oh, he's got relationships and all that stuff. Oh, wow. He said, yeah, we're going to Vietnam in the tail end of March. I just got my new visa yesterday. Yeah, it takes a while. A guy got mad at me because he claimed he got his the next day. And I'm like, damn, let me see it. Because I didn't believe him. But he got mad at me. I ain't going to show it to you. Why would you want to see my visa? I'm not asking. I didn't ask you what kind of visa you was on in the Philippines. I'm asking, let me see your Vietnam visa, which I cannot do anything with that information. But you said you got it the next day. I want to see it because I know you didn't. I know how long it took for me to get mine and everybody else. Yeah, it's going to take business days, but that doesn't include Friday and Saturday. That's about what it took me. It took me about 6 days altogether. But he claimed he got his the next day.
Someone's calling.
Okay, wait. I don't know who's calling. Go ahead. And when I called him on it, because it's like, don't share that kind of information with me if you don't want to be called on it. Just like the guy who claimed he could speak fluent Tagalog, and I said, hey, well, give us some Tagalog, and he couldn't do it. Well, you said you could speak fluent Tagalog. I mean, I wouldn't ask you if you never told me. I don't just say, hey, Kyle, speak some fluent Tagalog. Yeah, but this is because you going on, agent. We're going online, TJ. We're not using an agent. We're just going straight through the immigration. But thanks for the super chat. He said I could get you a Vietnam visa, multi or single entry within 4 hours on a weekday. It all depends on your agent. Yeah, we're not using agents, and neither did he. Okay, he went through the website like everybody else. I guess he did. But when he said he got it already, I said, well, let me see it. I don't believe you. He got mad, so okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you mad, but you just shocked me. I was impressed. He says, my Vietnam visa took 9 calendar days. It was very long, yeah. He said, I almost didn't think they was going to approve me. I had to look it up on the website to see if they approved me, and they did. Kyle said the same thing. His didn't come back in time for him to make the trip, so he had to go through an agent. So he really paid twice. But he said while he was there, they approved it. He said, yeah, anyone can call me out on speaking Chinese anytime. I will entertain you. But people, they volunteer this information. And, you're not trying to put them on the spot. I'm not. I just say, okay, speak some Tagalog, because I like to hear foreigners do it. When I used to be in Zamboanga, man, I could tell it was CIA agents and whatever it was. Because these guys, man, they knew the language fluently. You could just see them. They were, they just looked like, military, if you know what I'm talking about. Because it's just a regular foreigner ain't going to be down there like that. In that part of the Philippines, speaking fluent Cebuano or Bisaya. It's just the way they carry themselves. But yeah, thank y'all, man. I'm running over. I'm really on my fast. That's why I'm kind of waiting. I went over my fast. Now I got to be careful what I eat. Well, I appreciate all your super chats, super stickers, all your thumbs up, all your support for Sunshine Shoulders. Yeah, we're gonna have the meet and greet in March, and I'll keep y'all posted when I get back. Anybody, once we hit boots on the ground in Vietnam, if you're in Ho Chi Minh City, we're going to spend the first week there. Then the second week, we're going to be in the Trong. Hey, Gary T, what's up? He said, I noticed that Vietnam is the place to go. I'm glad I've been there now, but don't eat the chicken at the airport. Well, it's popular for Filipinos now. I watched a video on that. Like a national video, like on ABS-CBN, because it's, the close proximity to the Philippines and, of course, the cost of living and everything like that. Oh, I'm certainly going there. That's my first place I'm going. He said, go to the War Museum in Ho Chi Minh City, Cal. He said, where would a meet and greet? I can have one over there. That's a good idea. Maybe we can meet up in Ho Chi Minh City at a restaurant or something. Just kind of chop it up, guys. But take care, y'all. Stay safe. Stay out of trouble. I'll see y'all next time. Don't do anything stupid.